next on Fox Sports Net.
It's time for another episode of Cute Mascots Gone Bad. It's the 103rd edition of Oregon's Civil War between the Ducks and the Beavers. And for the first time in this historic series, both teams are headed to postseason bowl games. Oregon State hasn't been to a bowl game since 1965 when head coach Tommy Prothro was in charge. Back in those days, the Beavers dominated this interstate rivalry. Now, their fans are hoping that Dennis Erickson has his team on the verge of beginning a new era of glory years. Just don't expect the Oregon Ducks to give their furry little friends from the north a nice pat on the back. Mike Bellatti's team remembers the 44-41 double overtime loss in last year's version of the feud. And the vision of Beaver fans celebrating on their home turf isn't something they will stand for. The lines and the artificial turf have been drawn. Both sides have plenty of ammunition. Now the question is, which team has more heart? Oregon State, Oregon, the Civil War. Next on Fox Sports Net.
To the University of Oregon, where we invite you inside a sold-out Autzen Stadium. This afternoon, Fox Sports Net presents Pac-10 College Football. It is the 103rd Civil War battle as the Oregon State Beavers battle the Oregon Ducks. These two schools have been tailgating and partying all week long, excited about one of the most important games in this rivalry's history. And hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. This is Tom Ramsey. Welcome to the longest college football rivalry west of the Rocky Mountains. Oregon and Oregon State have been playing each other since 1894, and really not since 1964 when the winner went to the Rose Bowl has this game meant so much. Two schools now 7-3. Both teams know they're going to a bowl. Question is, which bowl are they going to?
Well, I know both head coaches are awfully happy. They're assured they're going to go to a nice bowl. They have to have some things work out for each other. But really, the battle on tonight's field, I think, goes back to last year's game. A double overtime victory by Oregon State. And I'll tell you what Dennis Erickson has done for his team this year. He's made them believe, and they're not satisfied quite yet.
How big is this rivalry? We talked to both coaches.
For the fans now in the state of Oregon, this is a big game. This has bowl implications. This has conference championship implications. It's not just going to be looked at by the people in this state. It's going to be looked at nationally in that regard. So I think that there's a sense of pride, a greater sense of pride, and certainly because of that, a greater sense of scrutiny to the game.
Rivalry games are the most fun to be involved in, and obviously probably the most competitive. You've got guys that maybe have played together in high school or against each other in high school, guys that live in the same town, guys that have competed against each other, and then obviously you're in the same state, so it's bragging rights for a year. And so they're always fun games, but they're always the most competitive games and probably the most important games.
And both coaches told us the absolute key to victory was Ken Simonton versus Reuben Drones, whoever runs better.
Well, I know both head coaches are going to rely on their running backs an awful lot tonight. Kenny Simonton may get the ball upwards of 30 times. That's what Dennis Harrison told me tonight before the game. Of course, he comes in second in the conference in rushing.
And then there's Reuben Drones, who can carry the football as many as 45 times in a game.
Well, Reuben Drones, they were expecting rain tonight. I don't know if they're going to get it, but Reuben Drones is capable of carrying this offense as many times as possible, and he has done it quite a bit. Joey Harrington, he can be dangerous throwing to a great core of receivers as well.
Right now, the temperature is 53. There's clouds about, no rain yet, but they do say there's an 80% chance of rain, and those running backs could be effective. The great backs like Reuben Drones of Oregon and Ken Simonton of Oregon State.
Jay Martin.
Don't you know that this stuff is filled with backward messages?
Eat Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza backwards. Hail to the crash.
See?
Dude, you said that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Infinity.
What?
Crash is back at Pizza Hut. Now when you buy a large stuffed crust pizza for $9.99, you get one of 2 free PlayStation demo discs with the hottest games like Crash Team Racing, Gran Turismo 2, and more.
Pause. Unpause.
stuffed crust. Another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Yours is a very full life. You are an intrepid adventurer, a caring and devoted parent, a tireless entertainer of clients, and, well, let's just say, you can use all the help you can get. The well-rounded Accord LX from Honda. It's everything you need, and then some. The Accord LX for the year 2000. Right now, you can lease a new Accord LX for $229 a month for 36 months.
Hey, want some tickets to the football game? Today's game? Yeah. It's almost half over.
Well, it's a really good game.
Why didn't you guys go? Give up this spot?
Now at AM/PM, come get your free tailgate ticket for huge discounts on food and drinks.
I'm going back in. Well, hurry up. Second half's about to start.
All right, everybody. If this one doesn't get your toe tapping, check your pulse. You may be dead. Here it is, coming to you in living cola. Refreshing Pepsi Cola. From the wonderful folks who put the R in cola. I'll be signing off now, because it's my bedtime. I'll catch you on the flip side. Be there.
I like this job.
Hon, have you seen my yellow sweater?
The one with the hole?
Yeah.
About 20 years old.
Yeah, that one.
I don't see why you need it. It's so cozy in here.
Discover comfort and save energy in a manufactured home. Insist on the electric Super Good Sense or Gas Natural Choice label. Call 1-800-35-OWNER or visit our website.
You sure you haven't seen that sweater anywhere?
Today's manufactured home. Built for living, built for life.
Hey, what's it going to take to get you to buy this computer today, huh? Come here. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'll upgrade your Sims to Dims, no charge. You'll even throw in a SCSI card. See, I know. Mouse pad. You want the mouse pad? 100% pure real neoprene. Come on, let me talk to you.
College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by the people inspired to build vehicles for your mind and heart. Nissan, driven. The battle for state pride in Oregon is ready to go. Standing room only at Autzen Stadium for the 103rd meeting between Oregon and Oregon State. We talked about the running backs being the key to success in this game. That means James Lofton has to talk about the guys who have to stop Reuben Drones and Ken Simonton. James, what do you have?
Well, you're exactly right. For Oregon State, one of their keys has been Reuben Drones. And now, you're not going to stop him, but you can only hope to contain him. And that duty falls on a trio of linebackers that's been pretty hot lately. Darnell Robinson, James Allen, led by senior middle linebacker Jonathan Jackson at 6'2", 252 pounds. This guy has the size to take on lead blockers, and he also has the speed to play sideline to sideline. For the Ducks, Oregon, all week long they talked about explosions. That means limiting the explosive plays, and that falls to the last line of defense. Two senior safeties, Brandon McLemore and Michael Fletcher. These guys have to make big hits on the wide receivers and make sure tackles on Ken Simonton. Now this game is as close as it can get. Both teams are 7-3. You know what? During the season, only one penalty separated the two teams. 82 for the Beavers, 83 for the Ducks. The Ducks' big scoring quarter, the second quarter. The Beavers, they like to keep it close and explode in the fourth quarter. As boxing referee Mills Lane would say, let's get it on.
It is time to do just that, and there's Mike Bellotti in his 5th year as head coach of Oregon. He told his Ducks, respect Oregon State, but don't fear them. Take it to them early and early at home. The coach at Oregon State, Dennis Erickson, has praised his defense all year long, but he's always had good defenses. Remember his national champion Miami Hurricane defenses in 1988 and 1991. Look at that. First coach since 49. Kip Taylor take this team. Well, Washington and Stanford had to lose to send Oregon to the Rose Bowl. Right now, Stanford is beating California in the fourth quarter 31-13, and Washington has just scored again. And they lead Washington State 24-6 late in their game. USC has taken a 10-point lead on UCLA in the fourth quarter of their contest in Southern California.
You see the overall records, Oregon, Oregon State, really the two hottest teams in the conference.
Well, there really is nothing civil about it, because last year's was one of the most special in the school's history. 44-41, Oregon State would win it on this 16-yard run by Ken Simonton in the second overtime. And the place went crazy. They tore the goalpost down. You see the series history. Oregon leads it by 10 wins. Oregon State, they won last year for only the fourth time in the last 24 games. 6 of the last 9 have been decided by 7 or fewer points. And both teams enter this Civil War with winning records for the first time since 1969. We were out here yesterday visiting with the coaches when we left. It was still early. Yesterday afternoon, about 200 RVs tailgating early. I mean, they have been partying all week long.
Yeah, this is something that has been talked about all week long. You see the tailgate city out there right outside Autzen Stadium. And, you know, we spoke a moment ago about Dennis Erickson's defense. They're going to get first opportunity at this Oregon offense as Oregon State's getting prepared to kick off.
Oregon won the toss, and they will receive. That means Ryan Seska will be kicking off to Michael Fletcher and Sonny Cook. And Seska knows he'd love to keep it away from number 1, Michael Fletcher, who James Lofton talked about in pregame. Not only is there strong safety, but this guy, a fearless return artist. He has returned a punt this year for a touchdown. Looking for his first kickoff return for a score. It will be Sonny Cook right at the goal line. And Cook is out near the 18-yard line. Well, there's the quarterback, young Joey Harrington, the 6'4" sophomore from Portland, Oregon. Played his high school football at Central Catholic High School, where he was an All-American there. And he has talented receivers to go to. A guy like Tony Hartley has more yards receiving than any receiver in Oregon history. 2,531 with 22 scores. Deke Moen moves from left guard to center because of the injury to Ryan Schmidt. Deke Moen is their leader on that offensive line, and he has played center in the past. Harrington looking deep on the very first play of the game, and it is incomplete, intended for Tony Hartley. Well, the defensive side for Oregon State, they have been terrific all year long. Sean Ball is their leader, a senior, only 6 feet tall, 275 pounds. He was a heavyweight wrestling champ in Hawaii. Jonathan Jackson goes 6'2", 250, so he is a run stuffer. And in the secondary, watch for Calvin Carlisle, a fierce hitter at free safety, 5'11", 177. He also is a good cover guy when Oregon goes to 3 wide receivers. Now they go Ruben Drones' way. Ruben is out to the 22 for a gain of just 4 yards. It will be 3rd down and 6. The tackle made by Jonathan Jackson. And Drones into it right away with Sean Ball. Well, there his numbers, 942 yards, 4.5 average, but he was injured for about 3 games this year with a rib problem.
He was hurt earlier in the year versus USC, and Ruben Drones is so effective between the tackles. He gets the tough yards. Right now, this is what Oregon State wants. They want a 3rd and 6 or longer and put the pressure on that young quarterback, Joey Harrington.
Harrington is not completely healthy. Looking for the screen. Oh, my. It was almost picked up by James Allen. James Allen, who had the great game against Cal 2 weeks ago, where he was the Pac-10 Player of the Week. But Harrington with a misread here.
And watch James Allen come. He's going to... Boy, Harrington throws it out in space, and he gets away. Boy, he's lucky there because he threw it to where he thought no one was, and James Allen broke on the ball and almost picked it off.
And on to punt comes Curtis Dorr, averaging 42. His long this year has been 75. TJ Hushmanzada is back deep at his 33. Dorr at the 31. Hushmanzada. Well, he only gains about 3 yards, but he was hit by about 7 Oregon Ducks. So Hushmanzada saying, hey, it is time to get it on.
That's right. Hushmanzada came in third in the Pac-10 and punt returns, averaging 10 yards a return, and just him getting up the field, giving Oregon State pretty decent field position helps out.
There is a flag in the play. Dennis Erickson in his first year came from the Seattle Seahawks. Chuck McBaron, our lead referee. And Dennis does not like that. One of the reasons they beat Arizona last week was because they were able to stay away from penalty while the Wildcats committed 16. We'll be right back.
When we re-engineered the all-new 2000 LeSabre, we gave it more standard safety features for you and your family than any other car in its class. Plus, the best gas mileage in its class. Come in during Buick's Countdown to 2000 event and see why Buick LeSabre has been America's best-selling full-size sedan for 8 years running. The all-new 2000 LeSabre. Drive one at your Buick dealer now.
Okay, I am dying to know. What is the news? Okay. Well, out of nowhere, he just asked me to marry him. Beautiful. Thank you. Isn't it great? Wow.
This moment made possible by a man who knows his diamonds.
How far do you have to go to be the best on Earth? A long, long way. Introducing an all-new ATV with Honda's legendary reliability. Available with push-button shifting and four-wheel drive. The new Honda Rancher for the ranch we call Earth.
Here in Eugene, Oregon, the 103rd meeting of the Civil War, Oregon State and Oregon, and we know who's going to the Rose Bowl. Congratulations to Ty Willingham as a Sanford Cardinal. Beat Cal 31-13 and get the axe. Washington leading Washington State late in the fourth quarter, and USC by 10. Arizona plays at Arizona State next Saturday. But Stanford is going to the Rose Bowl. Washington trying to go to the Holiday. And here comes Jonathan Smith from Glendora High School in Southern California. Only 5'10", 186. And he immediately goes back to throw, and they have a wide open Martin Maurer, and he's got the first down out past the 45-yard line. Well, his daddy played for Oregon, but he went to become a Beaver.
Well, what's interesting is they show trips. They have 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. Jonathan Smith effective finding that big tight end. Maurer, he goes 6'4", 240 pounds. That was a gain of 29 yards, and you have to like the aggressiveness of the Oregon State offense right out of the gate.
From the 48, it will be awfully difficult to hear for the Oregon State offense. Smith finds his man Hushmanzada past the 40 and out of bounds, knocked out by Justin Wilcox. Hey, how about that Beaver offensive line, the way they've been setting things? That was Sean Kittner on the catch, not Hushmanzada, but Roddy Tompkins is a fine wide receiver. He has made big catches for touchdowns the last 2 weeks. He's averaging 24 yards per catch. And on the line, Aaron Cook is the senior, 6'3", 293. This is his 3rd year starting. He's out of Kaiser, Oregon. 2 big plays by Oregon State. Simonton slipped and fell, and then Dietrich Moore got him. It rained a lot last night and early yesterday afternoon, a little bit this morning, but then really has cleared out. Kerry Miller is a fine defensive end. He has 5.5 sacks this year and had a great game against Cal last week. Watch for Peter Sermon in the middle. He has to play even bigger because his mate Matt Smith is injured, will not play. Michael Collier gets the start. Brandon McLemore is the free safety, and he is a senior. His brother Kristen was an outstanding wide receiver at Oregon. 2 interceptions for Brandon this year, and he also will come on blitzes. He has 2 sacks. Simonton left. Who's there? Yes, it is Tamani Joyner as they go with that nickel package.
And I think if you're Oregon, that's the way you have to match up against Oregon State. They have so many weapons offensively. They'll spread you across the board. Having that 50 in there, and Joyner really helps out. Watch him off the edge. He's able to trap Simonton in the backfield. Here, the Oregon defense stepping up, making 2 plays for losses.
Well, we talked about the running backs really having to rumble. Simonton minus 10 yards rushing through the air. They've been excellent, but now they face a 3rd and 23. Smith steps up and throws incomplete. It was intended for Robert Prescott, but he was well covered. And Smith, after 2 big plays, has to see his punter come on.
Well, and I really believe this is going to come down. You don't want to turn the ball over at all. Oregon State's been awfully good of late not doing this. So that really means field position and the effectiveness of the punters coming in. Fessler has been awfully good the last 5 games. He's over a 42-yard average, but kicking that man right there, Michael Fletcher, one of the best in the Pac-10.
He's returned 1 for a touchdown this year. It was 57 yards. He angles this one towards the sideline. Instead, it goes back, and Fletcher has it. And Michael across the 20-yard line near the 23. 40 yards on the punt. Hey, we talked about the 1964 season when both these teams were fighting to see who would go to the Rose Bowl. And Oregon State's Booker Washington scores the only touchdown of the game as Oregon State wins 7-0. It sent the Beavers to the Rose Bowl and their last appearance in any bowl game 35 years ago.
Hey, we got to colorize that. We got to colorize that clip. Back in the Tommy Prothro days, I'll tell you.
Well, those were good years when Oregon State was really winning. Right now, 2 teams with the longest winning streaks in the Pac-10 at 4 wins each, meeting Oregon and Oregon State. Ruben Drones muscles his way past the 30 to the 32. He is a much more physical running back than Ken Simonton.
Hey, Steve, what you said a moment ago, both teams coming in on hot streaks, 4 wins apiece. I tell you, Drones can bring it too. Flag on the play.
This might be about emotion. Unsportsmanlike conduct, possibly, as Chuck McBarron will talk to both captains.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the offense. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the defense. The foul's offset.
Here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon, it is a scoreless game with Oregon and Oregon State. I'm Steve Physiak along with Tom Ramsey and James Lofton. We'd like to welcome those of you who are watching Southern Miss at Louisville. Southern Miss won that game 30-27, a final score. What a terrific shootout. Louisville. A flag was thrown at each team for unsportsmanlike conduct as Ruben Drones really getting into it with an Oregon State defender. Now they give it to Drones and he hammers the middle. He needed to get to the 34 for a first down. Jonathan Jackson, number 39, the middle linebacker, met him at the 34.
That's one great matchup too. 39, Jonathan Jackson right here watching the middle linebacker. He's just going to fill that A gap, takes on the blocker and Ruben Drones. And Ruben Drones is such a great runner between the tackles, but that man right there, Jackson, last week named Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Week. Top tackler for the second straight year for the Beavers.
Let's see if they give it right back to Drones. 3rd down and inches. Rubin. He's got the first down to the 36-yard line. He just went right over his center, Deke Moan.
You know, a week ago, Mike Bellotti had some trickery early on against the Cal Bears, and it's really because Cal had such a great defense. But Mike Bellotti tonight knows that he has to battle. He has to put his guys, they got to have the chains rolling up and down the sideline, just clanking away. So important to keep the ball out of the hands of that Oregon State offense, Jonathan Smith.
Now from the 37, 1st down. Play action to Drones. Harrington, sideline, incomplete. Intended for tight end Justin Peel, who when the season began was 3rd string behind Inuamu'o and LaCorey Collins, but because of his blocking ability, he gets the start tonight.
Well, one of the things Oregon does, they watch Peel. He'll come up and run a corner over here. The fullback's going to come out in the flat, but I'll tell you what, they move the pocket, but the Oregon State Beavers have the answer. They are stride for stride with the receivers, and that's what makes Oregon State #1 in pass efficiency in the defense. They've only allowed 8 touchdowns on the year.
Harrington, quick pass, and it is incomplete. Intended for Marshawn Tucker, but Harrington didn't have much time. I mean, Cal hit him and hit him hard. He still does have a 3rd-degree separation of his left shoulder that he suffered really against Washington State and then hurt, and they had to take him out and put in A.J. Feely late last week.
That's a good point, Steve. Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator of Oregon State, knows that Joey Harrington's a young quarterback, especially faced with a 3rd and 10 right now. He's going to bring a lot of pressure, but he's also going to line up in defenses that are perceived pressures, and really there might be a zone blitz. He'll drop some men from the interior just to change up the look.
3rd and 10. Pressure on, and he is sacked. Back at the 30-yard line. Jonathan Jackson on the blitz. There is a flag down. Wow, how about this switch on 3rd down? Looks like they're going to punt instead of penalty.
Well, Jackson comes with the blitz and just, boy, takes on Reuben Drones. Harrington unable to get the ball off.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It still will be 3rd down. Offsides against the defense. Jackson, when he shoved Harrington down, turned because he thought Joey had let go of the football.
Well, I tell you, if you're Oregon, though, 3rd and 5's a lot easier to make than 3rd and 10. Changes your play call completely, and I think you still have to find the tight end underneath, or number 2, Tony Hartley, if you're Oregon.
They'll throw again. Harrington has had time, completes it to Marshawn Tucker. 1st down at the Beaver 48-yard line. But Joey, whose father John was a quarterback for Oregon in 1966 through 69, really has been excellent after taking over for A.J. Feely, and so too is Marshawn Tucker's excellence gone up in the last 3 ball games.
Well, the receiving core of the Oregon Ducks really can stretch the defense. Marshawn Tucker, Keenan Howery, the true freshman, and Tony Hartley, the veteran, who actually really turned up his production of late as well. Hartley comes into tonight's game with 41 catches on the year, averaging over 16 yards a catch.
Double tight end. This could be a run to Drones. They like to run it with that look. They'll go Rubin's way, and not much there. Whoa, the Beavers smelled that one out. Sean Ball led the way. Tole Talataina was also there, the left defensive end.
And the defensive front, Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator, told us they have got to get the production out of that front 7, and many times front 8 as well. Sean Ball, the defensive tackle right there, able to put the hit on him. See what they've done defensively. Points allowed. Even though they gave up 500 yards to Arizona a week ago, it was a quiet 500.
That's because they forced 4 turnovers and did not commit one on the offensive side. Drones, sweeps, right side, Rubin out of bounds near a 1st down. He still will need about 1 more for a 1st down. 3rd and 1.
I think Mike Bellotti paid Reuben Drones a very nice compliment this week. He said he never had a better week of practice this year. He went out, worked hard, and having missed the game from a year ago, not able to play in the Civil War, Reuben Drones knows the emotion of this game. He knows what's at stake. There's two teams going out to battle, but he can carry the load for the Oregon Ducks, and he's had awfully good success here in Autzen Stadium.
On 3rd and 1, all I can tell you is when he plays, the Ducks are at 11 and 3. When he does not, they are 4 and 4. Drones left. He beats Jonathan Jackson to the corner, gets the first down and more to the 25. Calvin Carlisle on the tackle.
Boy, here's that quick little pitch that Oregon likes. They fake to the fullback. All of a sudden, they toss it out. Jackson gets really shaken out of his shoes, and Reuben Drones comes and throws a shoulder on Carlisle, the safety. Watch this. Whoop, there he goes. Jonathan Jackson, one of the top tacklers for the Beavers, and Carlisle finally over there to make the hit on Drones.
Play action. Harrington, end zone. LaCorey Collins broken up. Beautiful defense by the freshman Dennis Weathersby.
Pass intended for LaCorey Collins.
That kid has just gotten better week after week after week. In the last 3 games, he has just been lights out.
Great coverage that time and great pattern recognition by the Oregon State defense. Weathersby knows they're going to try to throw a corner out of that formation. LaCorey Collins, the big tight end, the ball's up high, but Weathersby really uses his body well, defends against the ball, and it goes incomplete out of bounds.
There he is, Dennis Weathersby, Duarte, California. He's a big physical cornerback, goes 6'1", 201 pounds, and leads the Pac-10 with 16 pass breakups. Probably the best cornerback in the conference is Deltha O'Neal, who had a terrific game for Cal today. Turned a kickoff for a touchdown and a punt for a touchdown. But Weathersby might be the next great cornerback in this league. Harrington, 1 of 6 through the air. Now he's 1 of 7, and it's 3rd and 10. James Allen with the pressure.
Well, I know that every Pac-10 coach is happy that Tom Holmoe, the Cal coach, didn't use Deltha O'Neal on offense. But watch the pressure again. That's James Allen, 34, coming hard on Harrington. Again, to Oregon State, able to put Oregon in a 3rd and 10 situation. Oregon on 3rd down tonight, though, 3 of 4 already.
Let's see if they bring Allen again. Harrington rolling right, looking deep, incomplete, and Joey starts the game 1 for 8. Mike Bellotti substituted Joey for A.J. Feely when Feely went through some inconsistencies in the middle of the year, but Feely also had rib problems, a bursa sac problem, knee problems, and he is healthy. And here is Nathan Villegas, a guy who suffered an ACL injury to his knee on a wild play earlier this year, winning a game or sending a game to overtime against USC. Here is the field goal attempt, and it will be wide to the left side from 42 yards out. They had been going with Josh Frankel. Villegas making a surprise start, and with 7:41 remaining first quarter, we're looking for our first score.
Don't you know that this stuff is filled with backward messages?
Eat Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza backwards. Hail to the crash.
See?
Dude, you said that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Infinity.
What?
Crash is back at Pizza Hut. Now when you buy a large stuffed crust pizza for $9.99, you get one of 2 free PlayStation demo discs with the hottest games like Crash Team Racing, Gran Turismo 2, and more.
Pause. Unpause.
Stuffed crust, another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Coach Shanahan, Coach?
Yes.
Oh, still keep an eye on college recruiting?
Of course.
Really? What do you know about Billy Lowell?
Well, he's a blue-chip wide receiver, 6'3", 220, 32 TDs the last season.
We all know that.
He runs a 4.3 40,
doesn't want a red shirt. He's a Libra, likes burritos, no beans, and he's got a pet snake named Willie.
There's only one place to get the deepest recruiting coverage. NorthwestRecruiting.com, powered by Rivals.com.
Hey. This is for those ready to hit the road.
Hit the road. This is for a tough world.
This is for those looking for a solid experience.
This is excitement. Well built.
This is for right now. Right now.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement and lease a Grand Am SE for as low as $219 a month for 36 months. Call for important details.
This is for me.
For me. For me.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement.
This is for me.
Catch Fox Sports Net football news weeknights at 6.
Welcome back to Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon for the biggest Civil War game since 1964, when the 7-2 Beavers played the 7-1-1 Ducks for a trip to the Rose Bowl. Oregon State won that day 7-6 and played Michigan in Pasadena. There is Jonathan Smith. He has gotten his team to a bowl opportunity in 1999, the last year of the 20th century. And now Jonathan Smith, who has had 2 long passes before really having his first drive shortened by 2 fine defensive plays by Oregon on their last possession. They run Simonton, not much. Let's go to our College Football Saturday studio for an update with Kevin Frazier.
Steve, the 102nd edition of the big game is now in the books. Husak to Davis. That's the combination. This is the story. 31-13. Stanford wins. They're headed to the Rose Bowl. There's a party.
And they will have the axe for the next year. And they'll have bragging rights in that Bay Area. Here it's 2nd and 10, the Civil War. The 103rd meeting between these two schools. Play action pass, freezes the linebacker. Push Manzada with the catch out past the 30-yard line. Still short of a first down as McLemore makes the tackle.
Well, and I tell you, kudos to Tyrone Willingham. He really did a nice job this year with the Stanford Cardinal. But I tell you, the guys, the players who stepped up for him, the seniors. He had great senior leadership across the board. And a game like tonight, Oregon State and Oregon, the seniors again have to step up big in the big rival game for each school.
Stanford's first trip to the Rose Bowl since '72. 3rd and 4 for Oregon State. 3 receivers left. Smith going that way on the slant, but I believe it may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. Freddie Tilley may have gotten his big old paw on it, knocked it down.
Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator, had the answer that time. That spread offense, he matched up man-to-man across the board. He tells those interior guys, hey, push and fire across the line, but be sure to get your hands up. Jonathan Smith, remember, is only 5'10", and they can bat some balls down tonight.
Well, they've done a great job at forcing turnovers this year. Now the punt by Mike Fessler. Fletcher. He'll try for the return. He slips one tackle. Michael to the 35-yard line. Time out in the field. 6:08 to play. First quarter. Oregon will have the football when we come back.
Hey, Doug, it's Chris. I'd just like to thank you for telling me to buy that crappy computer. Why don't you come over and fix it, you son of a...
Doug gave it to Madeline. Edith gave it to Walter and Roy. Richard gave it to Earl. Dr. Marsh gave it to his patients. Have you got it yet? It's Juno, the internet service so simple to use, everyone is passing it along to their friends. But you don't have to wait. Just call this number today for your free software. With Juno, you don't have to be a computer whiz to get online. If you can do this, you can use the web. With Juno, anyone can send and receive email. Get the latest news, check stock prices, make travel reservations, all with free technical support. Your first month is free, and every month after that you'll save compared to America Online. It's that easy. Just call this number. Don't be the last one to get online. Juno, everybody's getting it. For your free month of Juno, call toll-free today.
They traveled the 45 miles down the road here from Corvallis, Oregon to watch their Beavers battle the Ducks. Great crowd here this afternoon for the 103rd meeting, and this is the 33rd year for Autzen Stadium. The Ducks going for their 14th straight home win today. That would tie a record set from 1932 to 1936. Oregon with the football. Joey Harrington at the controls. Give it to Reuben Drones. Not much. Let's go to James Lofton.
Guys, if you watch this game, it's starting off, it's going to be a defensive struggle, because what Oregon State is able to do, they're able to get 8 and 9 guys up around the line of scrimmage, and the reason why Hayward and Weathersby are locking up one-on-one against the Duck receivers, and they don't give them any room to breathe. Jeff Tedford, the offensive coordinator for Oregon, has to find a way to get his receivers involved in this offense. The one pass they caught was the one time that Oregon State dropped off and played an easy zone defense.
Well, you just saw the man they expect to have a big game come in. Tony Hartley had 2 touchdowns last year in that 44-41 loss in double overtime. And they go to the 47-yard line for the first down to the freshman Keenan Howry. Weathersby was going to be taking either Marshawn Tucker or Keenan Howry.
Well, Jeff Tedford, the offensive coordinator, knows one thing. He has to get the ball to Keenan Howry. And as James mentioned a moment ago, Weathersby has been locking up good on the receivers, and right there, they're breaking on the ball. Weathersby delivers a big hit, but not after a first down reception by Howry.
So Weathersby goes to the right side where he will play cornerback against Tucker. Give it to Drones. Reuben past the 50. Reuben with the first down to the 40-yard line, but a great block by Oregon against linebacker James Allen.
Watch Darian Latimer, the fullback, right here. He's going to break and get the block on the outside linebacker. Allen, 34, put him on the ground. Reuben Drones up the field once again, lowering the shoulder on Calvin Carlisle. And boy, that's just good, tough running and a great lead block out front by Latimer.
We're still in the first quarter already. 9 carries for Drones, 53 yards. Just keep on giving it to 22. We saw him carry the football 45 times one day against Arizona with a bruised rib. James Allen's with the tackle on Drones, and we told you about Stanford's victory over California, sending the Cardinal to the Rose Bowl for the first time since '72. Washington has won. They will either go to the Holiday or the Sun Bowl. It's really the Holiday's choice. And UCLA losing to USC as the Trojans win for the first time over the Bruins since 1990, when Tom Ramsey was, what, 7 years past his graduation from that Westwood institution?
I was long gone.
You were. But the memories you shared with us for so many years until Cade McNown shattered all your marks last year. Marshawn Tucker was out of bounds, incomplete, but there is a flag down. Weathersby with terrific coverage, but did he shove Tucker prior to?
Boy, you know, the emotions run high in these rivalry games. Boy, I'm not sure where the flag. I'm not sure.
Looked like Dennis was holding his jersey.
Now, early on, flag came out from the back judge.
That's the call.
He thought he might get away with a little hold. There wasn't a lot of bumping. Dennis Erickson saying, "Hey, let him play football," tugging on his jersey just a little bit. Didn't have a lot of jersey, but I tell you, the little bit he had drew the yellow hanky.
So Weatherby stays cornerback right side and will take Keenan Howry. Harrington hasn't completed many, but he has his team to the 22. Drones in trouble. Rubin somehow gains about 3 yards. Tom, I thought he was down for about a 4-yard loss.
A great piece of running that time, just making something out of nothing. Absolutely nothing that time to the right. But I was going to say, but you see the numbers on Reuben Drones, 11 rushes so far tonight, 5.5-yard average. But these rivalries, Steve, are just so emotional, so impactful. You know, back SC-UCLA reminds me tonight, Oregon State and Oregon. There's an awful lot of color in the stands, and a lot of the fans have brought their pom-poms and showing their school spirit tonight.
Harrington. Keenan Howry, apparently it was trapped, and there is a flag down on the play. But Joey has started very inconsistently, and he usually is right on target with his passes, and you wonder if that left shoulder is causing problems. Offsides against the defense. Dennis just asked his defensive coaches, who was that on?
Harrington comes in, a 56% thrower.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
And he took over for A.J. Feely. Harrington only 2 of 10 so far tonight. But I tell you, I think part of the difficulty is facing that tough Beaver defense. Their attacking style defense. And remember, A.J. Feely on the sidelines, he's able to play, and he's mended up. He went through a battle of some injuries himself.
Drones. Not this time, Ruben. You will be sacked for a 4-yard loss. And the NFL this morning is coming your way tomorrow at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on Fox Sports Net. The guest is Saints head coach Mike Ditka. Hey, Tom, here's the trivia question. Ditka is one of only 2 people to have won a Super Bowl as a head coach, assistant, and a player. Who is the other?
Well, you'd have to go back a little ways. Would it be Tom Flores?
You got it. You're the best. Mike Ditka and Tom Flores, and they'll be talking to Ditka tomorrow. NFL this morning, Jonathan Jackson rallies his defensive troops. Harrington on 3rd and 4. Joey, end zone. Broken up by Weathersby. Oh, he really electrifies you.
And Weathersby actually picked the ball off as they went out of the end zone. And again, using his size, 6'1", 200 pounds, watch him go up, make the play. Boy, and he almost came down with 1 foot in bounds. Watch him, he's stride for stride with Marshawn Tucker. They both go up. That left foot comes down and almost inbounds, but Weathersby again making a great play.
Nathan Villegas missed his first attempt. This time it is good from 33 yards out, and Oregon strikes first. 3-0 Ducks over the Beavers.
Remember life in the fast lane? I know. First you meet, then you get married, and things slowed down.
Yeah, right.
To help you keep up, drive the supercharged Regal GS Sports Sedan. Plenty of room, standard traction control, and the most power in its class. Get up to $35.67 average finance savings with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on 1999 Regals. Official car of the supercharged family.
What do you do while your battery's charging? Well, now, you could just keep working. Because Skill just created the dual source power system. The first cordless tools with a corded backup. So you can finish what you start. Which is a much more satisfying use of time. Dual source. Only from Skill.
Oregon with a 3-0 lead over Oregon State. Nathan Villegas hit one from 33 yards out. Nathan, last time we remember seeing him smile, he had just kicked a field goal to tie a game in the end of regulation with USC, and then hurt his knee in the process.
What's up, Mom? What's up, Dad? What's up, Marcel? Back home? What's up, brother?
He's smiling again because he is on the field and healthy again.
Boy, it's amazing what he did. He really gutted that out.
Dan Katz will kick off, not Villegas. They want somebody with a healthy leg out there for a tackle. Oh, look at the special teams, and Robert Prescott is really knocked them winding around the 12-yard line. Michael Fletcher was there.
Tom Osborne, the special teams coach of the Oregon Ducks, just has his guys flying downfield. They just put the hammer on Prescott. Oh. Michael Fletcher, I'll tell you, he's one of the best defensive backs in the league.
Dead ball, personal foul on the return team. Dead ball, personal foul on the kicking team.
Not only did the special teams do the job, knocking them down inside the 15, now the penalty will put them inside the 10. Football news comes your way weeknights at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Get all the football news, highlights, and analysis you can handle. Not only the pros and college, even high school big skin coverage. Offsetting penalties. Fouls on both teams, so they'll start with 14. Simonton past the 20. That is the first run, a healthy run that we've seen by the Oregon State offense. And as you said in our opening, Simonton must run well for the Beavers to win. There is a flag, though, down in that run.
And Simonton right here, he wants to hit it right off that right tackle. They actually they match up pretty well.
Dead ball, personal foul.
And he ducks outside. I think Simonton is so hard to see. If you're a linebacker, Steve, his size, he's not awfully tall. Look at his rush yards this year. 1,266 yards coming into tonight's game. 15 touchdowns. Of course, he trails only trunk candidate in the Pac-10 conference for total rushing yards. And they had a battle a week ago down in Corvallis.
He is only 5 feet 7 inches tall, 175 pounds. His sophomore came into the game needing just 39 yards to break Bill Enyart's record. Most yards rushing in a season by Oregon State. Again, Simonton driving his legs to the 38-39 yard line. We talked to Jonathan Smith about this Civil War rivalry.
I think there's still a level you want to be the best team in Oregon. I think recruiting-wise, you realize all of that. And it's your rival game. You know, you'll go down there, it'll be a hostile place. The place will be rocking, and you want to go out and compete. These are the fun games you get to go and play. And, you know, the rivalry games are the best games every year, and it'll be fun.
And he led them to victory last year. Had an outstanding ball game. Came on at the end of last season, took over that starting job over Terrence Bryant, and has not turned it back. As even though you look at Jonathan Smith and he's only 5'10", 185, he is a guy that Dennis Erickson said picked up his offense faster than any quarterback he has had, including Gino Torretta, Craig Erickson, or Tim Rosenball, who he had at Washington State. But last year against the Ducks, over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception.
I was going to say the magic number is no interceptions, and that's what he's been able to do for the Beavers of late. Hold on to the ball. Even though his pass completion numbers have been way off, he's kept it away from the dark shirts.
Oregon showing blitz. Now they back off and rush just 3. Smith with time, incomplete. He had his man open, T.J. Houshmandzadeh, but it's 4th down and 6.
Great pass protection that time by Oregon State. They allowed Jonathan Smith the time to check out Houshmandzadeh coming across the middle. The throw was on the mark. Houshmandzadeh just unable to come down with it.
So on comes Mike Fessler, and again to punish the dangerous Michael Fletcher. Fletcher, we already saw him attack the Oregon State special teamers on the kickoff. Look how aggressive he is. Only 5 fair catches. Fessler fumbles it. Oregon's going to get it with great field position. Mike never handled it cleanly.
And so many times, watch, it's a high snap. Fessler unable to come down with it. Oregon with the block called on. Again, special teams plays making such a big difference in really every game, but especially the big games. It can turn the momentum of the game so quickly. Oregon now with great field position and ready to strike again.
And Oregon in these situations and quick turnovers, many times we've seen them go deep. They have receivers to either side. And Harrington is back to throw. And he does find tight end Justin Peele, and Peele has a first down inside the 10-yard line. Let's go to our College Football Saturday studio for a game break with Kevin Frazier.
Guys, the game is over in the Swamp. Florida State, final play of the game. The Gators trailing by 7. Jesse Palmer tosses it up into the end zone. There's a crowd, but no one comes down with the ball. Bobby Bowden and the Seminoles walk away with the victory, 30-23.
What a game there. And Kevin, we have a terrific one here. The Civil War in Eugene, Oregon. Oregon knocking down the touchdown door with a first and goal at the 6-yard line. Drones, lone running back. Rubin. He is mauled by Aaron Wells. Breaks free and is sacked back at the 11-yard line by Jonathan Jackson and Darnell Robinson. But it was Wells who got him first.
Well, one of the guys playing so well in that interior, Aaron Wells, he's going to shoot through and make the play on drones in the backfield. Even though Aaron Wells doesn't come down with number 22 in his arms, the rest of the defense is able to be there in pursuit. Boy, you got to like Drones' effort, though. He's just fighting to get back to that line of scrimmage. Unless it's the loss for the Ducks.
Loss of 4. That's it in the first quarter. Oregon with the lead, 3-0 here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene. We'll be right back.
Don't you know that this stuff is filled with backwards messages?
Eat pizza, hot stuffed crust pizza backwards. Crash is the man. Worship Crash.
What?
Party of Crash is us.
Dude, don't you have locks in this house?
Crash is back at Pizza Hut. Now, when you buy a large stuffed crust pizza for $9.99, you get one of 2 free PlayStation demo discs with cool games and a chance to win $500,000.
Backwards talking am I now?
Stuffed crust, another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
There comes a point in your life when you outgrow those cute little pickups, at which time you might want to consider something a little more adult. A different kind of truck that can run rings around compacts. Dodge Dakota. With more room and more available towing, torque, payload, and power. Dakota. Time to put away the toys. See your Northwest Dodge dealer, proud sponsor of the Oregon State and University of Oregon Civil War game.
What do you have, folks? A large pepperoni pizza.
And a Pepsi, please.
Sure thing, Curly.
Thank you.
Hey, we both know I ordered a Pepsi Cola. And now you've insulted me by offering me this. But I'd like to give you a chance to make amends. Capiche? Yeah. Here you go.
Good eye.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, why me? Don't you don't even think about... Oh, no, no. I hate this thing. You stupid.
Oregon with a 3-0 lead over Oregon State. Our National Car Rental game summary. Nathan Villegas, 1 of 2 for field goals. Oregon State, only 39 total yards on 3 possessions. Simonton hasn't run for a yard. Drones, 13 rushes, 54 carries in the first quarter alone. Now it is second down, goal to go from the 10-yard line. Harrington has not started well passing. He'll run the option. Joey keeps it to the 10 out of bounds of the 4. Third and goal from the 4. And he was smacked on his left side, and that is where he has that 3rd-degree separation of his shoulder. There is a Beaver player down at the 4-yard line, and that is Terrence Carroll, their strong safety. He's a junior, and this is his 3rd year as a starter. He would be a tough loss.
Boy, the option gives you such an added dimension down in the red zone. Harrington lowered the shoulder on Terrence Carroll, the free safety. They go shoulder to shoulder, and Harrington, 6'4", 215 pounds, is not a small guy by any stretch of the imagination. And Carroll got the worst end of that.
I know we were talking about Joey's left shoulder, but it's Terrence's right shoulder that's causing him problems. From the 4. Hartley right. Tucker left. Split backs. Harrington looking for Tony Hartley. Incomplete. Keith Hayward Johnson with the coverage, number 3 on Hartley.
Boy, Mike Bellotti knows they got to take some shots into the end zone. Oh, he's hoping on that one.
And Tom, here's what's scary. They have been inside the 33 times. They've come up with 3 points. They have been inside the 20 now twice and come up with 3. They have been inside the 10, and if they are inside the 33 times and come up with only 6 points, that's not enough. Villegas has it good. Oregon takes a 6-0 lead, but in this Pac-10 conference, you always see a lot of points, and that is not enough to beat Oregon State.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, look what I found.
Hey, that's a puppy. Cute girls own puppies.
Let's go.
Is this guy yours?
Sorry. I don't know where he lives.
Is this your dog?
Hey, sorry.
Did you lose a little puppy?
No.
We just need a good home. I wonder if he's housebroken.
Okay, guess we know the answer to that.
The Civic from Honda. Where will it take you? Doug gave it to Madeline. Edith gave it to Walter and Roy. Richard gave it to Earl. Dr. Marsh gave it to his patients. Have you got it yet? It's Juno, the internet service so simple to use, everyone is passing it along to their friends. But you don't have to wait. Just call this number today for your free software. With Juno, you don't have to be a computer whiz to get online. If you can do this, you can use the web. With Juno, anyone can send and receive email. Get the latest news, check stock prices, make travel reservations, all with free technical support. Your first month is free, and every month after that you'll save compared to America Online. It's that easy. Just call this number. Don't be the last one to get online. Juno, everybody's getting it. For your free month of Juno, call toll-free today.
College rivals battle for bragging rights, scores, and highlights tonight.
Oregon has a 6-0 lead over Oregon State back in 1992. The Ducks won by just 7-0. Oregon State's quarterback Mark Olford fumbled for the Beavers on his own 22. The result would be the only score of the game by Zechariah Davis. 7-0 Oregon would win that football game. But the way these two teams have been piling up points, I don't think that's going to be the case, because Oregon averages about 36 points a game. Oregon State averages 31 points a game. Both teams have been playing much better defense the last couple of weeks, though.
I know James Lofton's happy it's not raining like it was then either, because that was a deluge in that game.
He brought his umbrella just in case. From the goal line, Prescott. Robert is out past the 21-yard line. Let's go to James Lofton.
Guys, Oregon State is riding a 4-game win streak, and in that 4-game win streak, they've only had 1 turnover. Well, in essence, that high snap to the punter, that's a turnover. The defense trots out onto the field. They keep the Ducks out of the end zone. Now the momentum has to be shifted by the Oregon State Beavers on offense. They have to come out and respond. Their defense is playing great. Their offense has to get going.
You're absolutely right, James, because they are plus 11 in turnovers in their 7 victories this year. Simonton not much, but in their 3 losses, they have turned the football over 14 times, including 7 to the University of Washington. There's Mitch White, who was out with a knee problem at back end, but There is the turnover tail for Oregon State. And they were so successful last week forcing 4 turnovers against Arizona and beating the Wildcats 28-20. Timeout called by Jonathan Smith. You told me that you felt Oregon State might have more trouble with Oregon's defense than any other defense they might see. Why?
Well, Oregon State wants to be able to stretch the field, but I think Oregon has the ability to punch and counterpunch. They have the talent and the athleticism to line up Nick Aliotti and his defenders. He has a senior group of safeties. Remember what James Lofton said at the top of the show. Brandon McLemore, Michael Fletcher, even though they might not run as fast as some of the safeties in the league, I guarantee you Michael Fletcher and his experience alone is an additional factor out there. They're able to match up with that team and put that much more pressure on Oregon State.
But Oregon is without middle linebacker Matt Smith. College basketball, the 4th annual Top of the World Classic, tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern on Fox Sports Net. Great field, including Oklahoma, Cal, and George Washington. And how about that Cal team, defending NIT champs? They won their first game as freshman Joe Shipp scored 20 points.
And Steve, you know, we can talk about the defenses, but essentially the offenses need to step up too, and most importantly, the quarterbacks. Jonathan Smith has got to make some throws, some big throws against this tough Duck defense.
You're right, he has not been coming up with big plays recently. He does wing it out left side, incomplete, pass too tall. And it was intended for Amani Percoach. Percoach, they really felt he was going to have a big game because he had really a poor game in their victory over Arizona last week.
Yeah, when I was speaking to Michael Johnson, the quarterbacks coach for Oregon State, he mentioned that Percoach has got to come up big as well. You see Michael Johnson right there. He's on the headset with Tim Lopano, the offensive coordinator, and Dennis Erickson trying to get to the best plays. But again, the onus falls on number 9, Smith.
3rd and 9. They swing it out to Simonton. Ken out of bounds for the first down. He went out about a half foot beyond where he needed to go at the 32-yard line. Clever play by Oregon State, really taking a page out of the Ducks offensive playbook.
Yep, Simonton really just a hot, meaning he is coming out of the backfield with no blocking responsibilities. Justin Wilcox, the senior corner, comes over a little late. Simonton knowing right where the sticks are. See how many catches he has on the season. Don't be afraid to throw him the ball at all. He's got good hands.
Now Roddy Tompkins with the catch, breaks the tackle, dives forward, very close to a first down near the 42-yard line.
Well, if there's one guy, Mike Bellotti, I asked him who's he scared of that Oregon State offense. He said Roddy Tompkins. And it's because of his speed and speed alone. Roddy Tompkins has been able to burn defenses long distance, 24-yard average. He had a touchdown a week ago versus the Arizona Wildcats on 3rd and 22. Jonathan Smith got him a deep ball, but that's a healthy average coming into a big game.
And all 5 of those touchdowns have come in the last 5 games. 3 wide, all left side. Simonton, nice hole, set up by Mitch White and Aaron Cook. James.
Guys, you see Jonathan Smith walking to the sideline after every play. You know what they actually do? Signal the plays, and he just likes to make sure that there's no confusion. He likes to go over, talk to Dennis Erickson. Maybe just likes to look in Dennis Erickson's eyes or something. I don't know.
Well, all I can tell you is they say he's a winner. Tim Lopano, the offensive coordinator, said he studies. He's trying to get better every day. And he said he is a young man who will eventually be a football coach in college football. 2nd and 5. Simonton, oh, they read that beautifully. The entire middle, led by Peter Sermon, was there, and Saul Patu.
And one of the things Oregon State worked on in practice this week, knowing they were going into a hostile environment, and watch Patu come from that defensive end position, but they know that they were going to face a tough crowd with Autzen Stadium, a loud crowd. They were going to have to work a lot of no count into their offense and stay with the play called at the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Smith cannot check off at the line. They got to go with the play that's called.
Great against the run last 2 weeks. Smith. Ooh, boy, he shot that one like it was out of a cannon and really gave Prescott no chance to catch it. That was a fastball about 92 miles an hour, a little hair on it.
Boy, and credit to Monty Joyner, number 23, the nickelback. He's back playing. He had been suspended indefinitely by Mike Pilati for breaking team rules, and I just think having him back on the field is a big difference tonight for the Duck defense.
As a quarterback, though, how do you deliver that pass? Did that have too much mustard on it?
You deliver it lower than shoulder level, I'll tell you that.
Or the safeties will be leaving your wide receivers and sending them to the hospital. Here's Michael Fletcher. Oh, he got hit and hit hard at the 22, and Michael doesn't go down. He's the pinball wizard. 44 yards in the punt. There is a flag down on the play. Fletcher will run to the sideline as Oregon's D offense will take over the football with a 6-0 lead. It is against Oregon State.
Chuck McBaron and his crew busy keeping Dennis Erickson and Mike Pilati a little bit on their toes. And what the heck's going on out there? You want to let him play football in a big rival game. Been a lot of flags that have already come out tonight.
And that is their 6th penalty of the game to Oregon's 1. And that has hurt Dennis Erickson's team more than anything in the first half here in Eugene.
So they're going to kick over. They're trying to explain it to Dennis Erickson. He's throwing up his arms like, what do you mean you got to kick it again? He doesn't want to kick it again to Michael Fletcher. I can guarantee you that.
Well, they mugged Michael about the 20-yard line. That's where the ball would have been. Let's see what the ad is after this. Fletcher's now standing at his 25. He's a guy that does not fair catch many.
And what the end result is a big momentum boost for Oregon because they're going to get a lot better field position out of this.
A dangerous Fletcher, who has returned 3 punts for touchdowns in his career, takes this at the 30, and here he goes. Right side. Fletcher to the 45. So it is a 35-yard penalty against Oregon State.
No one knows if the mind rules the body or the body rules the mind. The University of Oregon encourages both. In addition to 18 Rhodes Scholars, 203 Fulbright Scholars, and 2 Nobel Prize winners, 10 of our 78 Olympic competitors won medals in their events. So whether the mind or the body is more important just depends on what circles you run in.
Hey.
This is for those ready to hit the road.
Hit the road. This is for a tough world.
This is for those looking for a solid experience.
This is excitement. Well built.
This is for right now. Right now.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement and lease a Grand Am SE for as low as $219 a month for 36 months. Call for important details.
This is for me.
For me. For me.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement.
This is for me. Don't you know that this stuff is filled with backwards messages?
Eat pizza, hot stuffed crust pizza backwards. Crash is the man. Worship Crash.
What?
Party of Crash is us.
Dude, don't you have locks in this house?
Crash is back at Pizza Hut. Now, when you buy a large stuffed crust pizza for $9.99, you get one of 2 free PlayStation demo discs with cool games and a chance to win $500,000.
Backwards talking am I now?
Stuffed crust, another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by the all-new 2000 Buick LeSabre by Buick. Re-engineered to be safer than ever. Steve Busiak, Tom Ramsey, James Lofton with you. Oregon with a 6-0 lead and at the 45-yard line of the Beavers. Right in the middle of that Oregon State defense is number 44, Terrence Carroll. He is back in the field after suffering a shoulder injury on Oregon's last drive that resulted in 3 points. Carroll, their strong safety, a fierce hitter. Drones, look at that play. Wow. That was Tavita Muala, who will replace Jonathan Jackson next year as a starting inside linebacker. But how quick is this guy?
Well, Muala allows, watch him right here. He's going to come on the blitz. Willie Robinson, when he has him in the game, it's a blitz package. And I know Oregon knows it's coming. They just can't do anything about it. Muala is so quick to the ball. He's able to shoot through the gap and make the play. And tell you, he can rush off the edge, too, and create some problems in the pass protection of the Oregon Ducks.
And they'll be pressuring Harrington again now on 2nd and 13 as he goes play action. Wings the pass for a first down inside the 35-yard line to Tony Hartley.
Well, you know, who do you go to in the big games? You go to the veteran receiver, because if you're the young quarterback, you know one guy's going to run a precise route and one guy's going to be right where he needs to be. That's Tony Hartley, number 2, the senior wideout who's just been making his mark on all the Oregon receiving records this year. You see, climbs a ladder, set the receiving yards mark this year, 22 career TDs, 2 shy of the career mark.
4 against Oregon State. That's not bad. Civil War player. Harrington dumps off Drones, and look who's there again. He has been everywhere. Moore.
Boy, Micah Moore. You know, Oregon State knows that Oregon is a great screen team, and Moore's going to shoot from his linebacker spot just underneath. Boy, he just makes a great play, scoots by, and what happens, why he's able to do that, he's locked up in man coverage. Micah Moore, 102 tackles, 11 for loss in his career, but he's able again to recognize a screen coming as soon as those linemen pull and break on the football.
So Harrington having to go back to the air, has time, flips it, completes it. No first down. They need to get to the 22 for a first down, so it'll be 3rd down and about 3-4 yards as Tony Hartley makes the catch and Carlisle punishes it.
Again, Harrington going to his veteran wideout, Tony Hartley, but Calvin Carlisle, number 32, probably playing as well as any safety in the Pac-10. He played so well a week ago versus Dennis Northcutt, one of the most explosive players in the nation, and held him in check.
3rd and 3. Howry and Hartley to the right. Harrington looking that way. Hartley wide open, first down, 10-yard line. I think Joey Harrington's heating up.
Well, and they're doing a nice job protecting. They get a great protection here. Watch, Harrington's going to move half roll, and then Hartley's going to come up and just run a corner. I tell you, it's a nice, easy throw and catch. Hartley again runs a nice route. They move the pocket real subtle, though. They move it outside to the tackle box, and it allows Harrington a little more time. You see Harrington's numbers improving now, 7 to 15, but again, Steve, down in the red zone, they got to come away with 6 points.
Drones to the 7. Muala, Carroll, both there for the tackle. Rubin gets helped up. Oregon with a 6-0 lead on 2 field goals by Nathan Villegas. When he plays, Oregon really runs the football well, averaging 192 yards, rushing with Drones. Without him, under 100. Right around 92 yards for Mike Bellotti. He knows how important number 22 is to his offense. Not only rushing the football, just his presence. His presence allows to make play action work. They'll run him to about the 5-yard line, sneaking in between Deke Moen, the center, and Jim Adams, the left guard.
And That's what Oregon has to do. They got to come off the ball. That offensive line has really got to step up because the Oregon State defensive line and front seven have played so well of recent. Dennis Erickson very happy that that defensive front has not given up a lot of big plays, but right now, none bigger in this first half than the third down facing them right now.
3 wideouts, all in man coverage. Oregon State showing blitz. Harrington, knocked down. No flags.
Boy, you know,
Hayward Johnson, what a play.
Yeah, and when a quarterback and receiver sees man-to-man locked up, you kind of get excited because you know you only got one guy to beat. But Harrington with the short drop gets the ball out quick, and Hayward Johnson, stride for stride, just makes a great play. Breaks on the ball early, able to time it as well as he can and break up the pass play and bring on Nathan Villegas again. That's a nice set of downs for Oregon State, having gotten the ball in that plus territory.
From the 20, from 23 yards out, Villegas for his 3rd field goal of the game. And it is good. And Oregon takes a 9-0 lead with 7:25 remaining first half. When we return, Kevin Frazier will give you a preview of the Nissan halftime report.
Hey, what you doing this Sunday? Football fanatics get more pregame power 1 hour earlier with NFL This Morning. WBA super featherweight champ Joel Casamayor headlines Sunday night fights. Going deep with a legend, the new CBA king, and unlocking the mystery of the NFL kicker. And if you missed anything, our team's got it covered.
You bet. Stay tuned to receive your free trial version of America's #1 accounting software for small business.
Okay, folks, here's your business card, letterhead, and my invoice.
How did you create this invoice?
With QuickBooks accounting software, I called the toll-free number and got a free trial version.
Wish I had time to learn new software.
It takes no time. Answer a few simple questions and QuickBooks tailors itself to your business automatically. And if you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. QuickBooks makes it easy to see who owes you money and how much you owe. It also does invoicing, payroll, and inventory. Plus, you get customizable reports and graphs that puts you in control of your business.
To try QuickBooks free, call 1-800-650-7481 for your free trial version. Or, if you also need time tracking, estimating, and project costing, then try QuickBooks Pro. Either trial is yours free for calling 1-800-650-7481.
Catch Fox Sports Net football news weeknights at 6.
It is Rivalry Saturday, and we'll fill you in on the rest of the national picture, including Florida and Florida State. Kellen Winslow and I will see you at the half for the Nissan Halftime Report, and Kellen will once again break down the BCS picture and add his own unique slant, which sometimes can be scary. Let's get back to the guys.
All right, and you might ask Kellen about that Kansas State-Missouri game where my alma mater beat Kellen's 66-0 today. Wildcats over Mizzou.
Boy, you're tough. Rub it in a little bit, huh?
Hey, how'd your alma mater do?
Yeah, you're still rubbing it in, aren't you? There you go.
James Lofton's was successful. They beat Cal today.
That's right. Lofton walking around with a rose in his ear.
There's the kickoff by Dan Katz as Oregon has a 9-0 lead, kicks it out of bounds. So Oregon State will have good field position at the 35. There is that flag down. We have a great crowd on hand today. 46,115. Let's go to James Lofton.
To start this drive at the 35-yard line. They're going to start at the 35-yard line. One of the things that they really need to do, they need to start taking their shots upfield. We know that Josh Wilcox, number 19, is back in the lineup for the Ducks. Nobody likes to try and go deep against these guys, but Roddy Tompkins, number 80 on the other side, has been effective going deep against everybody in the conference. That's the matchup that they're lined up with on this play. I would expect the first play to be a deep ball.
You remember last week, 3rd and 22, they went deep to Roddy, and the result was a 59-yard touchdown. Prescott, though, breaks free. Robert with the first down up near midfield.
Well, instead of throwing deep, One of the things they do, and they do it so well, they call it the rock and lug. Watch Prescott. He's just going to swing out, but then it allows Roddy Tompkins to go down the field and get a block on Justin Wilcox. And Jonathan Smith does a great job of just firing the ball out there, and then you see what that play is able to do. It almost turns into a huge gain, but I tell you, it turns into a significant gain and a first down for Oregon State.
They rock and lug to the other side, and Prescott can't hold on, but Smith was throwing behind his receiver. And are they going to call that a lateral?
And it is a lateral. Sure enough, the line judge did call it. Jonathan Smith, they just flipped the formation over, Steve, and tried to throw it again. Again, they're just going to wing it out here, and it allows this player to go down and block, but watch the ball. It'll come on this line here. It's a lateral, and they'll mark it out of bounds where the ball actually went out of bounds. So it's a 3-yard loss for the Beavers.
Timeout called by Jonathan Smith. Oregon really showing a blitz. They had 8 on that defensive line.
Exactly, and Nick Aliotti, one of the things he was going to show 11 up. Sometimes he'll come out of it.
College Football Saturday Special Edition starts Friday next week at 11:30 Eastern on Fox Sports Net. Look at the games you can see. Ohio against number 11 Marshall with their great passing offense. SMU and TCU. And Tom and I will be at USC as the Trojans will host Louisiana Tech and Tim Rattay. Also Oklahoma State against Oklahoma on Saturday. That is a great shootout in the Midwest.
And I'll tell you, Tim Rattay, now that's a guy that can throw it all over the ball yard. I watched him work out this summer. He and Carson Palmer, some of the young quarterbacks, Chris Redmond from Louisville.
You love him.
Boy, I tell you what now, those are some talented athletes, some talented young quarterbacks. And Tim Rattay, I tell you, he can play at that next level. He's a kid that, you know, he's not the biggest or the strongest, but he can spray it all over the place.
Now on 2nd and 13, Smith at the line of scrimmage. That is the 46. 2 wide left, 1 to the right. Will they go deep to Tompkins? Yes, they will. Roddy is open. Did he make the catch? No, he was out of bounds. They were picking on Brian Johnson, cornerback who took over for Tamani Joyner when Joyner was suspended, but Tamani back for this game.
Well, they got to take their shots deep. They got to exploit the speed of Roddy Tompkins. But Brian Johnson, the corner who made the play of the game-saving play a week ago versus the Cal Bears, it looked as though Tompkins should have had it. Came down right between his arms, but Johnson right there to make the play.
Well, right now, Oregon's defense has been outstanding. 2 reasons why they have been terrific this year is efficiency on offense and big plays on defense. Oregon has turned it over only 18 times while forcing 27. Last week they had 6 interceptions against Cal.
Take a look.
Look what they've done on 3rd downs against Oregon State tonight.
Over their last 3 games, only 16%. You got to get the ball up the field.
Incomplete, intended for Robert Prescott, and Jonathan Smith having one of those first halves and hoping he can turn it around in the second half, because Oregon right now with a 9-0 lead with 6:44 to play, and Dennis Erickson shaking his head saying, wow, what do we have to do to figure out this Duck defense?
Well, you just have to be more effective on 3rd down and not get into those long yardage situations. A 3rd and 13 yards, so difficult to complete. They got to get those positive yards on the early downs.
Smith 6 of 13 for 87 yards. Now Fessler with the punt. Fletcher, no fair catch. Oh, he was slugged down about the 27-yard line, but pops right back up. Let's go to James.
Guys, Nathan Viejas is back from that ACL injury. It's still torn. It still has to rehab during the offseason. But what he's doing during this ball game, he has a pair of sweatpants that he actually wears over to keep that knee warm. He had a knee brace on during pregame warm-ups, which he took off so that he could kick during the game. And I've watched all 4 kicks. It seems like each kick has more velocity, more power on it, like he's gaining confidence as the game goes on.
Well, he's got all of the Oregon points tonight. There were 6.5 minutes remaining. Oregon back on offense. Harrington to Drones. Well, they have really controlled Rubin after a hot start in that first quarter.
Pushing and shoving.
Tackle by Talataina. Sean Ball was in that area as well. Second down, 11 yards to go. Willie Robinson with that attack style defense, really a 4-3, but he says they're still in the early stages of showing them all aspects of the defense. We'll bring out more next year. Blitzes on Darnell Robinson, but Hartley with the catch at the 32-yard line. Just a gain of 4.
Boy, and an attack-style defense it is. Willie Robinson, he'll bring guys from all over the place. Watch Robinson come on the corner, right off the edge, put the pressure on Harrington, and then Jonathan Jackson as well, the middle linebacker. Robinson on a blitz right there at number 5 makes Harrington go a little wider. That's a great play by Harrington as he takes a shot by Jackson as he releases the ball just because he shifted hands with the ball.
On third down, Harrington incomplete. His receiver fell down. Tony Hartley with 4 catches already in this first half.
Well, they had the right call dialed up. Jeff Tedford, the offensive coordinator of the Oregon Ducks, for Mike Bellotti, had a 3rd and short, just what they wanted. Hey, here's a guy, Curtis Dorr, who's been such an effective weapon for Oregon, and a week ago they ran a fake punt versus Cal. He pulled the ball down and ran with it, but he's able to drive the ball deep. Hit it for 47 yards, the first punt of the night.
Well, he hammers this one. TJ Hushmanzada will have the return at the 32. TJ cut down at the 34-yard line. Well, stay with us at halftime. We'll take you to our College Football Saturday studios. And Kevin Frazier for the Nissan Halftime Report. We'll be taking a look at that big showdown on the East Coast, Florida State and Florida, number 1 versus number 3. Rivalry weekend, and including, you know, it's no longer you play for the alums or for your family. You're playing for the BCS. How about Virginia Tech hammering Temple today, 62-7? And you know, that was all about the BCS. We'll show them Virginia Tech did, and they did. Ken Simonton, well, they have had his number all game long. Simonton just has not been able to run at all. And Dennis Erickson's ace running back came in, averaging over 130 yards per game. But look at all the punch you've seen.
Yeah, that's ugly right there. If you're Oregon State on offense, you just need to be productive on third down. That's what it comes down to. And don't put yourself in long yardage situations. Jonathan Smith has to come up, make some throws, and put the ball on the mark. I also think they need to throw on early downs.
And Smith throws it away, and really no one was in the area, and there's the late flag. Smith is saying he had his running back in the area, and I'm still looking to find out who he's pointing to. Flag goes down.
Well, they tried to get the ball to Kenny Simonton, and Chuck McFerrin, had the ball been close to Simonton, he probably wouldn't have thrown the flag, but it was such an errant throw, it wasn't close to the receiver.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Loss of down on the play. Third down.
Watch, they're going to get the ball on a screen to Simonton, and I'll tell you who made the play. I'll tell you who makes the play. Michael Fletcher makes Jonathan Smith scramble and break free of the pocket. Credit Fletcher on making that play.
It was 3rd and 22 last week when they went deep to Tompkins for the touchdown. This is 3rd and 27. Tompkins wide left. Jonathan looking, sacked at the 15-yard line, and Oregon's defense has been terrific.
Well, right there, Nick Aliotti again changing it up on defense. They bring a blitz on 2nd down. They put Oregon State in a long yardage situation, and then they just bring the heat. Saul Patu from the defensive end position, who's coming off his best game a week ago versus Cal, there to sack Jonathan Smith.
Fessler at the 2-yard line. Michael Fletcher at the 45. 3.5 remaining first half. Oh, there's a flag. They didn't give Fletcher a chance to even catch that football. So Oregon's going to have very good field position with 3.5 to go. That is, what now, 8 penalties by Oregon State.
Yeah, Ricky Walker, number 4. You got to give him room right here to catch the ball, and he doesn't. Ricky Walker just drills Michael Fletcher.
Personal foul. Interference with the opportunity to catch the ball. 15 yards. First down.
Boy, and again, a big play in special teams. You see the penalties on Oregon State, 8 for 82. Oregon only 1 penalty tonight. But again, this is such a monumental shift, not only from momentum, but field position for Oregon. They're going to line up on the 34-yard line of Oregon State. I think if you're Oregon right now, you take a shot to the end zone. You try to send a message real quick that, hey, we're going to try and take a shot, because Oregon State has played well defensively in this first half, just giving up 3 field goals.
Well, the reason Oregon State has been winning this year, I mean, if you strictly look at numbers, is they're forcing turnovers. They haven't forced one. Where they can swing the momentum is by picking one off. Harrington going right side, as is man Keenan Howry, out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. James Allen on the coverage, and he pushed out Keenan.
Well, I tell you what makes that play, pass protection up front by the offensive line. They did a great job that time protecting Harrington. Scott Fergus and Josh Beckett, the 2 tackles, playing awfully well for that Duck offensive front.
They need 2 for the first down. Drones behind Joey Harrington. Rubin gets the call to carry. First down. Is he in? Touchdown! On 2nd and 2, a 26-yard run.
Boy, watch it. It's just a stretch play outside. Reuben Drones. Both the receivers run their men off. Hartley and Keenan Howry. Drones sidestepping right down the sideline, able to scoot in for the score.
They have never lost at Autzen Stadium when Reuben Drones has been healthy. He's trying to make it 8-0. Villegas point after touchdown, and Oregon, with a great first half, has a 16-0 lead over the Oregon State Beavers.
Going in a straight line is one issue, and most people, when they think of speed and power plants, think of. The fact is, you're going fast and slow, and you're turning in the process of doing it. The new Ultima has been redesigned with that in mind. We refined the suspension. We reduced the body roll. We goosed the engine. Technically speaking, we gave the car some.
Hey there, time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Join the National Football League. Or take your kids to a national park. But wherever you go, National will get you there fast. Because with hundreds of locations nationwide, it's hard to find a place that's not a national city. Whoa! National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
That young man has not always been healthy in his Oregon career, but when he has been on the field, he has been extremely successful. Over 1,000 yards rushing now this season, 1,022 and the last 26 for the touchdown and 16-0 lead over the Beavers. Fair catch called for by Mark Bauer, and he makes it to the 20-yard line. There is Drones. How about that touchdown run again?
Boy, Reuben Drones, 26 yards, and watch, he's going to get it and then just hit it and be able to bounce it outside. Nice blocking at the point of attack. Fergus, the big tackle, and then it's all Drones and his speed. He outruns Jonathan Jackson and Terrence Carroll to the flag. Both receivers that time doing a good job running their men off. And then it's just all Reuben Drones. As you said, Steve, over 1,000 yards with 80 yards on the evening tonight.
Beavers need to get going. Smith with time now to Rhodes. He's scrambling to the right. Was his man inbounds? Yes, it was. At the 32-yard line, Roddy Tompkins for the first down. Smith made something happen.
Boy, and credit Roddy Tompkins for staying alive, as does Jonathan Smith. He stays alive from that rush of the Oregon Ducks, but Roddy Tompkins works back down the sideline. He gives Jonathan Smith something to throw at, and that's a great grab. Boy, right sidestep and running into Dennis Erickson there.
Oregon State needs to score for momentum. There's that rock and lug again, and there's Robert Prescott trying to get a first down. He'll come up about a yard shy at the 42-yard line. Michael Collier on the tackle.
Michael Collier stepping in for Matt Smith, the injured inside linebacker. Matt Smith has been such a good player for that Duck defense. Michael Collier called into action tonight alongside Peter Sermon, the other inside linebacker.
Simonton. Oh, Oregon State's defensive line has just been everywhere. Saw Patu started it. Michael Collier finally wrapped him up. Oregon defensively has just been super.
Yeah, Galliotti early on, Joyner. They got the number. They got Simonton's number there, and then, boy, I tell you, they're swarming to the ball. They're all over it. Saul Patu, number 48, leading the way, and there's the architect of that defense.
Nick Galliotti, defensive coordinator, and Ken Simonton has been limited to 3 yards rushing on 11 carries. They'll give it to him again. And Ken will get the first down as he goes out of bounds to the 46-yard line, shoved out by Brandon McLemore. But here's a guy who came in averaging about 130 per game.
Steve, finally, they're able to convert on third down. It's because it's a short third down, 3rd and 2. That's more like it. They can hand the ball to Kenny Simonton. He can wiggle and break free, but boy, only 8 yards, less than a yard a carry. Have to get more production out of him. And credit, like you said a moment ago, the defensive line of Oregon so far tonight.
Smith deep. Tompkins incomplete. Brian Johnson had a hand on him, but would not give it up. And there's no flag in the play.
Brian Johnson's not a big guy. He's about 165 pounds. He's running. He's got a pretty good grab of Roddy Tompkins' arm. That's one way to slow down Roddy Tompkins. Brian Johnson a little bit out on an island covering Roddy Tompkins, and that's how that offense, they need to throw on first down. That's part of what Oregon State has to do just to get Oregon to play off them a little bit.
Smith incomplete. He had a man right in his face as the pass was intended for Benny Johnson, a backup tight end. And Oregon's really getting pressure on the very small Jonathan Smith, who's only 5 feet 10 inches tall.
And what they did, Steve, they brought both safeties. You see McLemore coming here, Fletcher coming from the outside as well. Again, Oregon mixing it up, and this time 3rd and 10. They can show blitz, but yet drop back and play zone and make it that much more difficult on Jonathan Smith to read it.
Man coverage on Percoat. Smith goes to the other side. It's incomplete. And again, Johnson with terrific coverage on Roddy Tompkins. And Smith again has come up empty.
See what Oregon's able to do. They bring blitz on second down, and then on third down, it really was a man and zone combination. Just a man underneath. Safety's playing zone to take anything deep, and Jonathan Smith nowhere to throw the ball.
Fletcher at his own 20. Fessler hammers it inside the 20, inside the 5, and into the end zone. So Oregon will start their offense at their own 20-yard line with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the first half. Stay with us again at halftime. We'll take you to our College Football Saturday studios and Kevin Frazier for that Nissan halftime report. Report on a big game with Florida State and number 3 Florida. That was the best of the rivalry games, and Florida State with a 7-point win. We'll have all the highlights. Florida, though, did have a Hail Mary that I'm sure the fellows will show you with Michael Fletcher. What about the job he has done?
Well, he's done it all. Not only does he play defense, he runs down on kickoffs, special teams, he returns punts. One of the top punt returners in the Pac-10. Then he made a good decision a moment ago, letting the ball scoot into the end zone for a touchback.
Reuben Drones. Terrence Carroll wraps him up after a 3-yard gain.
Nice play by Carroll. Good solid tackler from that free safety position. And I tell you, if Reuben Drones is coming and making defensive backs make tackles, then you know the Oregon offensive line again doing a good job locking up that front 7.
Keenan Howry moves to the left side. He also has Sonny Cook with him. And they will hand that football off to Drones, and Drones is up near the 30-yard line, and that may be the final play of the first half. Well, Oregon and Oregon State came into this game meeting for the 103rd time, and right now the heroes of this game have been on the defensive side with the fellows from Eugene, Oregon. At the end of the first half, it is Oregon 16, Oregon State nothing. Right now, let's go to Kevin Frazier in our College Football Saturday studios for the Nissan halftime report. Steve, third Civil War with the Oregon Ducks leading the Oregon State Beavers 16-0. And Steve Physiak again with Tom Ramsey. And right now, Oregon is 3 for 3 in what they wanted to do. They wanted to pressure Jonathan Smith. They wanted to slow Ken Simonton. They've done that. And they wanted to run Reuben Drones 80 yards, including a 26-yard touchdown.
Well, Reuben Drones has been very effective tonight, really keeping Oregon State's defense off balance. And Oregon State has not been able to counter. Kenny Simonton has really been held in check the whole night by that defensive front of Oregon.
And as we check the first half stats, you'll notice that Oregon State running the football minus 27 yards, Tom.
Yeah, I think what ends up happening, this is such a big key here, minus 27. It equates to only 82 total yards for Oregon State. And I'll tell you, thus far, Oregon able to keep the opposition off balance with a nice mixture of run and pass.
And how about those running back comparisons? Ken Simonton over 1,200 yards rushing coming in, only 8 yards on 12 carries. Drones 89 yards, including a 26-yard touchdown run late stages of the first half. There is Simonton, number 35, the little guy at 5 feet 7 inches tall, 185 pounds. And Reuben Drones, number 22, Mike Bellotti said he has never seen him so emotionally peaked this week. This is the last game he will play at Autzen Stadium. He has never lost a football game here in Eugene.
Yeah, the only thing Dennis Erickson does not need is a supercharged Reuben Drones, but that's what he's got tonight.
Oregon State will get it first, and how important is it that they score in this first drive to get the momentum back? Mark Maurer calling for the fair catch, and he makes it to the 28-yard line and then is hit. Now, he called for the fair catch. There is no flag down. We have time to go to James Lofton.
Guys, I talked to both coaches at halftime. You know, I think they go to some school to figure out what to say to reporters, because they both said exactly the same things. We need to start executing a little better on offense. Bellotti said we move the ball, but we need to score points when we get down in the red zone. Dennis Erickson, he didn't have a smile on his face when he talked to me. He said we need to start executing on offense. Defensively, both clubs are playing well, but special teams has really been the turnaround. Oregon has played exceptionally well on special teams.
And Erickson's expertise is on offense. They will run Simonton, not much, just a 2-3 yard gain, and Oregon State nothing but punts, including one where they fumbled, and the result was 3 points for Oregon.
Boy, 7 punts in a row. Fessler and the one fumbled punt that allowed Oregon a short score in the short field.
Smith needs to heat up. He's been a big play quarterback throughout his career, even in his first big start against Washington last year, where he threw for 469 yards. And here's a flag going down very quickly on second down. They had 8 penalties in the first half alone.
Dead ball. False start. On the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
One of the biggest problems that hurt him in that first half was getting in long yardage situations, and whether it's second and long or third and long, it's put an added pressure on Jonathan Smith, and he's gotten a lot of heat from that front defensive line of Oregon. But yet, I believe in the second half, Steve, they're going to have to come out and throw the ball more on the early downs and not get in those long yardage third down situations.
Well, they will here with 5 wide receivers, and Smith is sacked. Peter Sermon on the blitz.
Peter Sermon, one of the top tacklers in the Pac-10, and he's going to loop in the outside. He didn't line up in the middle that time. He came outside the tackle box. Sermon, look at the career tackles, 295. He led the Pac-10 2 years ago. He has a nose for the football, ex-quarterback in high school.
They do not blitz this time. Smith with that long pass, and it is caught, but very shy of a first down by Roddy Tompkins. They still need another 5 yards for a first down. 13 yards in the play, but after the penalty and the sack, that is simply not enough, and it is 3 and out, and giving it back to Oregon, and their fans are really steamed up for this one.
All that pass completion did for you was gain some extra yards on your punt. In essence, Mike Fessler, the 38-yard average tonight, again kicking the ball away to Michael Fletcher, who's done such a good job handling punts for the Ducks tonight.
Fletcher at the 32. Another high snap to Fessler. He hammers it, sending Michael, who fumbles the football. Oregon State covers it at the 15-yard line. Jake Cookus. There is a flag down, though.
Recovered by the Beavers.
Oregon State has needed some help. Oregon has not turned it over in this game. This may be their first.
And Oregon came in leading the Pac-10 conference with a +9 turnover ratio tonight. That was #1 in the conference. Oregon State at #3 with a +6. But you're right, they haven't gotten any breaks. And just when you're talking about the exploits of Michael Fletcher, he drops one.
Penalties decline. First down.
So Oregon State gets it inside the 20-yard line. If there was a time where the momentum would swing, this is it, Tom.
Well, take a look right there. Pushing in the back, and Michael Fletcher that time had some time to catch the ball, but he muffed it. Oregon State finally given the short field to put their offense on the field, but now the crowd starts to crank up.
And Oregon State prepared for this. They said we won't do too many checkoffs because of the noise. They'll go with a lot of silent counts and hand signals. A lot of quick counts as well, and they do here, and the ball is batted down. may have been Dietrich Moore. It may have been Jason Nicolau. Both were in that area.
Yeah, Dietrich Moore was the one that got up to block it. Came off the edge there. Really kind of a half rush, but they know that Jonathan Smith has what in effect is called a short set. He'll take a 3-step drop and then get rid of the ball on a timing route. So they know when the ball is going to come out, but it's incumbent upon that offensive line of Oregon State to get those guys' hands down, get the defenders' hands down, hit them in the knees.
From the 21, Smith throws it again. Catch is made 16-yard line. They need 5 more for a first down. So Roddy has been busy in this game, but not too many of the passes outside one of his first in the first possession by Dennis Erickson's Beavers has been really for that many yards.
Yeah, Jonathan Smith, this is where you need to make plays as a quarterback. You can't rely on anyone other than the guy pulling the trigger, and number 9 has to read the defense and get the ball to the open man.
Simonton motion. Smith is sacked. They brought him off the edge, and Saul Patu with the sack. You can't play much better than Oregon's defense has played tonight.
Saul Patu coming off his best game a week ago. Line up here, and he's just going to come on the outside. Really almost comes unblocked. Oregon State had turn protection. They leave Patu. Watch him right here. He's going to come off the edge. Boy, the tackle, number 76, Jason White, blocks down. All of a sudden, Jonathan Smith gets a headache from behind in the form of number 48.
And Peter Sermon covers the fumble. And now Reuben Drones goes the other way. So as soon as Oregon State does something well by forcing the turnover, they give it right back. So they are -2 in turnovers in this game.
Come on. Come on.
Don Pelham, the defensive line coach, talking to Patu, encouraging him. Patu with 2 sacks on the night.
Sir.
Oregon with their 6th consecutive winning season. On 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Drones. Looks like he's got the first down, needed to get up near the 30-yard line. Tackle was made by Darnell Robinson. Right now it looks like Oregon State is a little shocked. I mean, they've been punched in the stomach, down 16-0, given an opportunity to get some points. They fumble.
Oregon State trying to draw their offensive line scheme up on the sideline. Aaron Cook, number 50, White, 77, Sykes, 72, the left side of that line for Oregon State. They need to figure out their pass pro and protect Jonathan Smith a little better.
Harrington play action, steps up in the pocket and completes the pass to Tony Hartley for the first down. Heath Hayward Johnson on the coverage. Harrington, after a very slow start when he opened this game 1 for 8, has really been very sharp since.
Joey Harrington has done quite the job of responding to starting off slow. Watch him step up in the pocket right here. Great pocket presence. And then he's able just to kind of scoot outside the pocket, get a nice throw and a nice catch. Another first down for the Oregon Ducks. And Harrington has responded well, Steve, as you said, coming back from a slow start, 10 of 20 for tonight, 106 yards.
Looking for that first touchdown, but right now he's got Reuben Drones to give it to, and Reuben gets it again. And Reuben is past midfield to the 48-yard line in Oregon State territory. Drones now with 110 yards rushing. Let's go to James Lofton.
Guys, I'm watching Oregon State on the field, and when you look at their defensive unit, they don't have big, strong guys. They're a fast, quick type of offense. Oregon is starting to grind them down a little bit. If you watch that last play, Harrington 2 plays ago had time in the pocket, moved around, and where Drones has been most effective has been beating them on the corners, on the edges. So this is a team that has a lot of speed, but they're not making the speed plays any longer.
You're right, on the edges, Oregon State is small, and Reuben Drones goes 6 foot 210. He's been knocking a couple of defensive backs on their backsides. Drones First down to the 45-yard line, to the 44. The tackle's made by another small linebacker, James Allen, at 6'1", 211. Reuben with over 110 yards rushing in this game.
Boy, Reuben Drones makes everyone's job easier. And I'm talking the head coach, the quarterback tonight, 114 yards, 1 TD. And the linemen appreciate a running back like Reuben Drones, a guy who's going to hit it up in there. He's not afraid to take it between the tackles. As James said a moment ago, he's been very effective on the edge, but the reason being he's been getting great blocks by the fullback.
Harrington this time rolling left. Completes it to Tony Hartley to the 31-yard line. Hartley loses his helmet, but not his head. He keeps his poise, and the Ducks with a first down.
I like the way the experienced receiver plays and gives Joey Harrington added confidence, knowing that Hartley's running precise routes. You see he gets drilled as he throws the ball. He gives a nice, comes back to the ball right there, and he gets hammered. Darnell Robinson, number 5, throws a bit of a forearm, and off comes the helmet.
He has 151 catches in his career now, and this is Drones right side, cuts upfield. Reuben still on his feet, 15-yard line to the 11. There is a flag down where Reuben Drones was tackled.
I believe they're going to call personal foul at the end of the run.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul on the offense, 15-yard penalty.
Drones, you see how he keeps his shoulders square and up the field, racing the whole time, and then here comes there's some late action down the field. The flags come out. Oregon State a little active after the play. Both teams have gone at it pretty good. There's been some offsetting penalties tonight.
But that is only the second penalty on Oregon. Meantime, Oregon State has been hit for 9 penalties in this game.
Well, if you're Oregon, I think the likely thing to do is to hand it to number 22 again. The offensive line getting a good push at the point of attack. But Reuben Drones been a workhorse so far in the third quarter.
So from the 26-yard line, they'll throw it. Harrington looking deep right side. Flag is down. Terrence Carroll breaks it up. Terrence went down hard. There is a flag down near the line of scrimmage. Well, Joey comes from a family of quarterbacks. His dad, John, we told you, quarterback for Oregon. But his uncles.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, half the distance to the goal. First down.
That will help the Ducks. Joey's uncles, Pat, Mark, Brian, Tom, and his father, all were quarterbacks at Central Catholic, where he was an All-American quarterback, Joey Harrington.
Well, it's only fitting, too. One of his brothers is the quarterback there now.
Yep. Well, Harrington wavered between Stanford and Oregon, choosing his dad's school because it offered him a chance to do something else he really loves, and that is play the piano. Since he was 4 years old, he's played classical piano. Now he's got Oregon on the move. Hit the right beats at the right times. This is Drones to the 11-yard line, a gain of 3.
2 yards to the Beaver 11 by Drones.
Reuben Drones, you remember that game he had against Arizona when he played with a rib injury, and Coach Mike Bellotti said they would give him 20 carries in the game. That would be great for the team. Well, they carried the football 45 times, and the running back coach kept on saying, get him in there, get him in there. And the other coaches were saying, no, take him out, give him a rest. No, keep him running.
Jeff Tedford, the offensive coordinator, wanted to keep giving him the work.
He did. Over 200 yards rushing, and here's Drones hammering another defensive back to the 5-yard line. 130 yards rushing for Reuben Drones. now on 26 carries.
Boy, watch this right here, punishing Reuben Drones. Just put the shoulder down, runs right over Terrence Carroll. Boy, if you're number 44, you can't get low enough. He just gets blasted. Finally, Jonathan Jackson, the middle linebacker, over to take 22 down.
I mean, this conference has really seen some terrific running backs, but I think in the years that I've been doing the Pac-10 conference, Reuben Drones might be my favorite, and not just because of the way he runs, the toughness that he displays as well. Harrington on the keeper, and Joey Harrington is in for the score.
It's the play that's so hard to defend against, the option, and they called it right at the right time. Mike Pilati may elect to go for 2 here. But again, Harrington able to execute the option, get up the field, turns it up, and they will go for 2. You know, the points are awfully important. They also know that Oregon State has a quick strike offense and very likely to get points in a hurry. So these additional points make it 24. You're going to round it off.
Harrington rolling right. Well, he will not get the 2 points, but he now hands off to Reuben Drones, who fumbles at the 1-yard line, picked up by Marshawn Tucker. Will they give it to him? I'm not sure if they're going to say that Harrington was down. Marshawn says he's got the 2. Calvin Carlisle with a big hit. We'll tell you about what happened when we come back, but the extra point is no good.
What do you do while your battery is charging? Well, now, you could just keep working. Because Skill just created the dual source power system, the first cordless tools with a corded backup. So you can finish what you start, which is a much more satisfying use of time. Dual source. Only from Skill.
Going in a straight line is one issue, and most people, when they think of speed and power plants, think of the fact is you're going fast and slow, and you're turning in the process of doing it. The new Ultima has been redesigned with that in mind. We refined the suspension. We reduced the body roll. We goosed the engine. Technically speaking, we gave the car some color.
College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go! Steve Visiak, Tom Ramsey, and James Lofton with you at Autzen Stadium, and apparently someone's RV has caught fire out in the parking lot. We just hope the owners of that are right here inside. I mean, if they're Beaver fans watching this game, they're really gonna be disappointed when they leave this evening.
Now watch, this was the 2-point conversion. Reuben Drones gets blasted, fumbles. Marshawn Tucker picks it up, but I believe they called it, they blew the whistle dead when Joey Harrington was in the arms of the defender prior to giving the ball to Drones.
Robert Prescott hauled down at the 19-yard line. Let's go to James.
Guys, I talked to the officials during the timeout, and what happened on a conversion play, when a player fumbles into the end zone, he has to be the player who recovers it. So the recovering player cannot, another player cannot recover it. It came back to the spot of the fumble, which was outside the goal line, thus no 2 points.
The old Raiders rule. Ken Stabler fumbling it ahead to Dave Casper. Well, it is beginning to rain here at Autzen Stadium. We told you 80% chance. We were told by the forecasters, and now beginning in the third quarter. 7 minutes remaining. Oregon State needs to do something offensively. They have been completely shut down by the Duck D's. Simonton breaking free, and this might be his longest run of the game. Ken was held to 8 yards on 12 carries in the first half alone.
Oregon has had the answer for Simonton. Simonton this time able to hit it right off tackle. Follow Cook, the guard, and then he's able to shake a tackle. It's a good job. Finally, Peter Sermon over there to.
Ken had a huge game last year against the Ducks with 157 yards and 4 touchdowns, including the game winner in double overtime on a 16-yard run. Smith throws, and it is incomplete. All of his passes have been too tall. Let's go to our College Football Saturday studio for a game break with Kevin Frazier.
Steve, just not a rivalry game, a game with huge implications. Alabama and Auburn, and Ben Lear to Marquise Cooper. Forget the roll tide. Right now it's War Eagle, 14-6. Auburn leads.
And Alabama came into the game ranked 8th in the nation with a record of 8-2. That could really hurt the Crimson Tide chances. 2nd and 10 now. Everybody move. You know, this is the Autzen Stadium, Mike Bellotti has said he feels is the best atmosphere in college football. He said he believes his team believes it. The opponents are beginning to believe it, but he said it gets so noisy down at Autzen Stadium that they can't check off.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Oregon State knew it coming in. They would have to do a lot of silent count, and they go to the line of scrimmage without a lot of audibles. Jonathan Smith electing to go on quick count a lot tonight and really having to stick with the play that's called. The attendance tonight, boy, standing room only 46,115.
The largest crowd ever to witness the Civil War. Started in 1894. This is Simonton up the field. He's very close to a first down. Needed to get to the 42-yard line for a first down. Look how enthusiastic he still is. Pops back into that huddle. 16 yards to play, and they do get the first down.
And more importantly, the ball's delivered on time and right where it needs to be. Simonton catches it right in stride, and you see when the ball's thrown on time, boy, as Wilcox comes over and just drops a hammer on him. But with the ball's thrown on time, it allows the receiver that much more of an opportunity to get up the field and make a play.
Boy, that has been like Justin Wilcox all year long. A quarterback, turn safety, turn cornerback. Roddy Tompkins trying to get to the sideline. Will get a few, but not much, about the 47-yard line. Roddy Tompkins, 5-yard gain.
If you're Oregon State right now, the rain's starting to drizzle down here at Autzen Stadium, and a lot of the rain coverings coming out. But what it means for Oregon State is there's 6:38 left on the clock. You got to get a score now, get on the board, and give your offense an opportunity, because it's that much harder to throw a wet ball. And it seems like now they got to work Simonton into the mix too a little bit. He's just starting to get warmed up.
Simonton to the 50. Simonton very close to a first down. I was reading about the history of this rivalry the last week, and reading about so many sog bowls, they call them, and fog bowls, and soup that they would play in, because here in the Pacific Northwest, well, as you know, it does rain, and we have been blessed all year long. This is the first time it has really rained significantly in a ball game at Autzen Stadium this year. There has been much more rain in games at Corvallis for some reason. That's why they call it the Corvallis curse. Smith Prescott juggles it, holds on, and gains about 2. Dietrich Moore in the tackle.
There's that play that Oregon State loves to run. It's called the rock and lug. Rock, for the receiver, runs a little bit of a rock route or takes a step backwards, and lug, the receiver's out in front blocking. But that time Oregon again has the answer for Dennis Erickson's offensive play calling.
I think Dennis Erickson would like to throw out the rock and lug and throw it deep and get the rock and roll going.
That's right.
2nd and 9. Simonton inside the 40-yard line. He needs to get to the 37 for a first down, so it'll be 3rd and short. There's Michael Fletcher again with Brandon McLemore. Two safeties that James Lofton talked about in pregame.
Kenny Simonton has such great eyes as he goes off. He's going to look for a place to hit it up inside. He does such a good job finding the crease. Then he's able to spin free and get some more yards.
Well, listen to this crowd on 3rd and 2. Simonton, he may have needed to get to the 37-yard line. I think they'll give it to him. There may be a measurement here, but boy,
yeah, it looks like they got a pretty good spot. And I'll tell you what's a nice facet of this offense, Steve, when you're able to come in and utilize a runner like Ken Simonton, who came into the game with over 1,200 rush yards, but on a 3rd and 2, able to hand it off to your top gun, and he's able to plow ahead and get the first down. They show a lot of confidence in young Ken Simonton.
They've got the first down. Oregon playing so well in this month of November, but that is very typical of Mike Bellotti teams. He's always said the games to remember are played in November, and Bellotti is 12 and 2 in his career in November, including 7 and 0 at Autzen Stadium. Mike Bellotti has never lost in November at home. Oregon showing blitz, and here they come. Smith in trouble, looping it downfield. Tompkins at the 15-yard line for the first down.
A great throw and a great catch. Roddy Tompkins on a corner route goes up, snares it, and he almost breaks free. Wilcox there to make the tackle on Tompkins. Tompkins was high of 46 catches in '97. 117 career catches, and he's been really the consummate team player for that Dennis Erickson squad.
Now at the 13-yard line, Tompkins goes in motion. To the 10-yard line, a short gain to Roddy. That was his 7th catch. He's been Jonathan Smith's money man. Let's go to James.
Guys, it's not raining hard, but the wind has picked up a little bit, so the ball is starting to get a little slick. Believe it or not, no two gloves are alike. See this one with the gold on it? That's actually a special wide receiving glove. You can see it's a little shinier than this dull finish over here. So if you're doing some Christmas shopping for me, I want the shiny gloves. They work better trying to catch the ball.
There you go. It's always about you, James. And there are the gloves, Roddy Tompkins. And they are the shiny ones. Here is Simonton. To about the 6-yard line. He will need to get to the 3 for a first down. 3 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. The way Dennis Erickson is looking at this, 18 minutes and 10 seconds remaining.
Exactly. Simonton again doing a good job squaring his shoulders, and Dennis Erickson knows he's got to punch one in here. The clock definitely not on his side. Another crucial 3rd down for Oregon State.
Third and 2. Simonton, touchdown.
just came out on that series of downs. They were determined to run the football. Sykes, the left guard, gets a nice block. Tight end Benny Johnson there also, and Simonton finally breaking some runs free. Pretty late though in the third quarter. Oregon was able to shut him down real good in the first half.
And they botched the point after touchdown. Tompkins was the holder, and Roddy upset. All of a sudden, the momentum goes back to Oregon after the Beavers. Ken Simonton dashed in from 5 yards out to cut it at 22-6.
There is an easier way to find a job. The Pac-10, together with JobTrack.com, bring you the largest job listing website, exclusively for students and alumni. It's where over 400,000 businesses have come looking for talents just like yours. The Pac-10 and JobTrack.com, the fastest track between school and work. Check it out at your school's Career Center.
What? Dean's List.
It's their territory. It's their world. But when man intervenes, the results can be deadly. These are nature's wild encounters. From the creator of Wild America comes a wildlife video unlike anything you've ever seen. If you crave excitement, if you're captivated by wild animals, this film is for you. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call this toll-free number now and use your credit card to get Wild Encounters for just $19.99. Order now and you'll also receive the best of Wild America, the first 10 years, free. That's right. Both of these extraordinary programs are yours for just $19.99. So call now.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-601-5577 or send your check or money order to the address on your screen or visit our website at www.kingworlddirect.com. Call now.
College rivals battle for bragging rights, scores, and highlights tonight.
Oregon State goes 81 yards in 12 plays, capped by that young man, Ken Simonson's 5-yard run. Far the best drive for Oregon State today, but on the point after touchdown, Roddy Tompkins, who has the best hands in the team, just missed it.
Yeah, what James Lofton failed to remind everyone, when those gloves get wet, that tackiness becomes slippery, and Roddy Tompkins unable to put that one down for the point after. And if you're Dennis Erickson, you hope that this extra point doesn't come back to bite you.
Michael Fletcher from 2 yards deep. Fletcher high hurdles a tackler at the 20-yard line. And Ken Simonton, after a very slow start in this game, finally heating up.
Ken Simonton finding his stride here in the third quarter. He was able to break a couple free, got the ball and a nice swing pass on time for a first down. And of course, he capped it off with the run into the end zone. Finally put Oregon State on the board. And take a look at the Buick scoring drive for Oregon State. A nice 12-play drive, 81 yards, taken up 425, and capped by Simonton's 5-yard run.
And you talked at the beginning of the ball game, whoever ran the football best would win the game. And right now, Reuben Drones with about 130 yards, and Simonton has just set the all-time rushing record for a single season, 1,339 this year. Bill Enyart, the earthquake Enyart from the old 1960s days. We ran into some of his teammates today, and the earthquake, he used to rumble. Simonton, that also sets the all-time sophomore record in the Pac-10 conference, breaking Charles White's old USC record. Joey Harrington gives it to Reuben Drones, and Drones, well, he's just like Simonton. He's electric. And they say he went out of bounds at the 41-yard line. If he doesn't step out, he might still be running. Bellotti said he did not step out. Let's see, Mike. Let's check out the replay. If number 22 stepped on that white sideline.
Well, Drones does a great job. He kicks it outside and catches the corner. Yeah, sure enough. Yeah, bring it back to there. Drones, though, I think he knew he had stepped out, but Probably didn't hear the whistle. 148 yards so far tonight, 1 TD. He's just getting warmed up with 27 rushes.
Well, if Oregon State can't stop him, you can put this game in the deep freeze. It will be the Ducks. Just 2:18 remaining third quarter, and Drones is running hard. And he continues to run hard, over 150 yards rushing now. The NFL This Morning comes your way 11 Eastern tomorrow, 8 Pacific on Fox Sports Net. And look who they'll be talking to. The always wonderful Mike Ditka, first tight end to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1988. Big physical guy who really, now his talk is about the same way.
He's always happy.
Not lately. Personal foul was called against Oregon State, so tacked 15 more on, and Dennis Erickson's team has been hurting themselves. 11 penalties. This is the reverse of last week when Arizona committed 16 fouls and lost the game 28-20 to Oregon State.
Yeah, you know, you hope when you go on the road, the penalties don't become a big issue, because when you're playing in a hostile environment, if you go out and execute and take care of your business, you usually don't have those types of things happening to you, but you have to play with composure. You got to go out and execute and really try and take the crowd out of the game.
Herman Ho-Ching now in the game, and Herman with the carry and a short gain. Let's go to James.
Tom, you talked about Reuben Drones just getting warmed up. Well, getting warmed up, he's cramping up a little bit at the same time, too. You know, it's just cool enough tonight where you're working extra hard to keep your muscles warm. You see the trainers on the sideline trying to get those calves loosened up. Now, what he's got to do, he's got to take in some extra fluids. You don't feel thirsty when it's cool like this, but you're still losing fluids.
Thank you, Dr. Lofton. Oregon with a 22-6 lead. We'll check on Reuben again. To stay Ho-Ching. He busts outside. Flag goes down. And this might be holding. Sure looked like that left side offensive line might have been holding for Ho-Ching to escape around the left.
Boy, and it's a shame they were holding there, because Herman Ho-Ching, once he turned the corner, he put a licking on Micah Moore. Oh, man.
Holding by the offense on a run beyond the line. 10-yard penalty.
Flag comes out early. Josh
Beckett,
down. He's going to get locked up there. He's pretty much mauling the defensive end. Scott Fergus is actually the one they called it on. Ho-Ching nullifies his run, and boy, did he put the hammer on that Oregon State linebacker when he went out of bounds.
Well, it's important for Oregon State, if they're to stay in this game, to stop Oregon on this possession. I mean, here it is, second down, 24 yards to go for the first down. And Joey Harrington breaks the huddle, sending Marshawn Tucker and Tony Hartley to the right side. Harrington completes it. And Jake Cook is on the tackle, Hartley on the catch. They're still about 9 shy of a first down.
Hartley able to spring free once again in the defensive backfield and just runs away from Hayward Johnson. A nice crossing route, ball delivered on time. Finally brought down there, but at least it affords Oregon an opportunity for a shorter third down, a 3rd and 8. Second all time on the career catch list.
7 catches in this game for 106 yards. Harrington back to throw. Incomplete. Diving for the football, Keenan Howry, but it will be 4th down. And now Oregon sends out their punt unit. And this is smart. That will give Oregon State a long field to go with just 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
And a really well thrown ball that time by Joey Harrington to Howry. Either Howry was going to catch it or nobody.
But how about the time Joey has had? I mean, their offensive line has done a terrific job in this game.
Yeah, they really have, protecting the quarterback and allowing Harrington ample time to throw and opening holes for Reuben Drones.
And they were expecting this. Now he'll punt it. And it will go into the end zone. Now the flag goes down with their guys downfield.
Yeah, I think Curtis Dorr is one of the most athletic punters in the nation, and he allows Mike Pilati a lot of options, but that time they released.
Disregard the flag, there was no foul.
No foul. We'll tell you about the fourth quarter when we come back, as the Ducks right now with a 22-6 lead over the Beavers.
One life isn't enough. I need 2 lives. Maybe 3. For all I want to do.
TV from Philips. A new way to look at television.
My driving test kind of got off to a bad start.
On calls like this, you want to talk a while. That's why it's always a good idea to dial 10-10-321.
Well, I thought I was in first.
With 10-10-321, you save 50% on calls over 10 minutes. But that's just 8 cents a minute, day or night.
I was supposed to turn on the blinker.
And no monthly fees. And that 50% off, you can go on and on and on.
So finally, I pull out of the parking space.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
Parents love the fact that the Burger King Big Kids meal has more of the great tasting food their kids love. And kids love the fact that they can get a limited edition gold-plated Pokemon trading card to trade with their friends. Which makes every parent happy. Well, most parents. Now, when you buy a tasty value meal, you can get a 23-karat gold-plated Pokemon trading card from Pokemon the First Movie for just $1.99. Pokemon and Burger King. Come and catch them all.
Just a reminder, Fox Sports News will follow the game for many of you, and they will have complete coverage of all the day's action, including a report from Paul Kennedy, who is in Gainesville, and they'll also look ahead to tomorrow's NFL action. That's Fox Sports News Prime Time. It's right after the game for many of you out there, but right now, let's get back to Eugene.
And Kevin, Oregon with a 22-6 lead. As we check our National Car Rental game summary, we'll find the running lead certainly belongs to Reuben Drones with 150 yards. We'll show that to you right after this play. Jonathan Smith from the 20-yard line, first down. He rifles that pass, and it is caught by Imani Hercoats. Our National Car Rental game summary, Reuben Drones with the edge certainly on Kent Simonton, 150-47. Oregon State on 10 possessions has punted the football 8 times. Total yards, Duck domination. Rushing yards, again Ducks.
Yeah, it really comes down to rush yards, 163 for Oregon, 8 total for Oregon State. They finally got Kent Simonton, that was the good news, on track on that last drive of theirs.
Smith is sacked. Freddie Tilley. It looked like he wanted to pump with the rock and then go deep.
Yeah, they were trying to get something going again. Boy, watch Tilley right there. He's able to just push over Robert Sykes, the guard. Sykes is no small man, 6'5", 325 pounds, but Freddie Tilley, 31 tackles, 8 for loss in the first 10 games this year. He's able to lower his pad level and get the leverage and make the play on Jonathan Smith.
2nd and 14. Hercoats First down to the 45-yard line. Monty Perkos, who has been so quiet tonight, and he came in as the team's leading receiver with 43 catches, didn't catch one last week in their win over Arizona.
Jonathan Smith that time with a little deeper drop, and the pattern took Perkos down the field a little bit more. He's working against Brian Johnson, and there's a big size differential. Perkos going 6'3", and Johnson about 5'10".
Simonton sneaking for a yard, but that is all as they wrap him up with Peter Sermon, the middle linebacker, really playing a marvelous game when you consider that the linebacker has been right by him all the time. Matt Smith not available because of a foot injury, and Sermon has really had to do double duty. Peter, a senior from Walla Walla, Washington. The greatest linebackers to play for the Oregon Ducks. Screen, Simonton, 50, first down to the 42-yard line. Michael Fletcher on the tackle. Smith beginning to heat up. He came in completing just 33% of his passes last 2 games, but over 50 in this game.
Well, here's that quick swing to Kenny Simonton. He catches it in stride, and watch Fletcher right here just put the hammer on him, stand him up. But Simonton running hard enough, getting the first down. Smith's passing numbers have been a little better tonight. 17 of 29 for 210. Completions of 7 different receivers.
So they bring in Antonio Battle for Ken Simonton, and they go deep for Monty Perkos. And he juggles with the football. Then a flag goes down. Brian Johnson, whose coverage has been so strong throughout this game, gets caught.
A good read that time by Jonathan Smith. Able to get the ball down the field to Perkos, and then Johnson never got his head around, and that's when the flag came out. What has to happen if you're the defensive back, you got to swing your eyes around, get your helmet around, otherwise it's face guarding. That's why the flag came out on number 13, Brian Johnson.
And that so often happens when the ball is underthrown, and it was. Perkos almost made a remarkable catch. Brian Johnson will now cover Roddy Tompkins. Smith again going deep. This time Tompkins broken up in the end zone by Brian Johnson. Well, here's a kid who's really growing up. I mean, Brian Johnson, I mean, you're going to get certainly graduate Justin Wilcox, but you'll get Rashad Bowman back next year, and they've got a pretty good secondary.
Well, they were bound and determined to take a shot deep that time with Roddy Tompkins. That time, you see how Brian Johnson got his eyes turned around back to the football, and the quarterback, good coverage that time by Johnson. He was the one that made the last game-saving interception a week ago on the last play of the game against the Cal Bears. 2nd and 10. Oregon rushes 4. Draw. This is Simonton inside the 20-yard line, very close to a first down. Boy, that was a play that really worked last week against Arizona. It was a great play. It's one of their top plays, too. The draw, and then he's going to hit it up right up the middle. That's nice blocking at the point of attack by the offensive line, and they finally, the O-line of Oregon State finally seeming to hit their stride a little bit, knocking the Oregon Duck defensive line off the ball.
This is Perkos, and Perkos inside the 5-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. How about this comeback by Oregon State?
Well, Oregon State can put points on the board in the 4th quarter. They've outscored opponents 123 to 37 on the year. So you know what they're capable of, and the defense tends to step it up when they know that offense is putting things together.
Look how strong they've been in the 4th quarter. Now they'll give it to Simonton. Ken blasts off the left side, and then he is rolled over by Michael Collier and Brandon McLemore and Dietrich Moore. Dietrich, the senior from Anchorage, Alaska, his third year starting.
Once again, Oregon slamming their line. Oh, and Dietrich Moore does such a great job exploding to the football from that outside linebacker position. He's not real big, but he's awfully strong. One of the strongest players on that Oregon Duck defense.
Smith gives it to Simonton again. He'll leap for another yard. It'll be 3rd and goal, though, at the 2-yard line as Jason Nicolau set him back. Looks like Dennis Erickson really circling with his offensive minds together. Then he'll send in the play.
That Oregon defense of a week ago, remember, Cal had the ball down late in the game, right about the same spot as here, and the Oregon defense stepped up, made the plays, and kept them out of the end zone. Nothing inspires the defense more than to have great plays at the goal line.
And it's hard to hear down there. Simonton again, he smashes in for the Beaver touchdown. And Oregon State will go for 2, and why not? Because even if you don't make it, touchdown field goal ties the game. But if you make it, it's a real bonus at 14.
That's right, they'll make it interesting. Simonton again keeping his pad level low. He's so hard to pick up behind that offensive line. When he hits the hole, he's going 100 miles an hour. Makes it awfully tough on that defense, and that's just a great piece of inside running by young Ken Simonton. I'll tell you a great story. Ken Simonton's father, Ken Simonton Sr., played football against Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator of Oregon.
With Nick.
That's right.
At Pittsburgh High School in California. Now they're going for the 2 points. 3 receivers left side. They pitch it to Simonton. He sweeps, cuts back, has the 2, and all of a sudden it's an 8-point game. If this was college basketball, they'd say, well, they just needed 1 possession. Touchdown, 2-point conversion, tie game. It's 22-14, 10-17 to go.
Going in a straight line is one issue, and most people, when they think of speed and power plants, think of the fact is you're going fast and slow, and you're turning in the process of doing it. The new Ultima has been redesigned with that in mind. We refined the suspension. We reduced the body roll. We goosed the engine. Technically speaking, we gave the car some confidence.
Hey, what's it gonna take to get you to buy this computer today, huh? Come here, tell you what I'm gonna do. I'll upgrade your Sims to Dims, no charge. You'll even throw in a SCSI card. See, I ain't a mouse pad. You want the mouse pad? 100% pure real neoprene. Come on, let me talk to you.
If you're looking for a family adventure, National Car Rental knows the best place to go is the Walt Disney World Resort. You see, National gets you to all the exciting new rides and attractions fast. For a magical adventure your family will never forget. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go with National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Walt Disney World Resort. Let's go.
Hey, what you doing this Sunday? Football fanatics get more pregame power 1 hour earlier with NFL This Morning. WBA Super Featherweight champ Joel Casamayor headlines Sunday Night Fights. Going deep with a legend, the new CBA King, and unlocking the mystery of the NFL kicker. And if you missed anything, our team's got it covered.
You bet.
On Fox Sports Net, that is what the Beaver fans want to do, defeat those Ducks. Ken Simonton has been huge in the second half, limited to 8 yards rushing first half. He has 55 in the second half, including 2 touchdowns. Touchdowns number 16 and 17 this year. So Oregon State right back in this game with 10-17 to play. Sonny Cook and Michael Fletcher. Fletcher. He picks it off at the 10, and Michael is out about the 25-yard line. How about Ken Simonton in this game?
Boy, Simonton has been so effective rushing the ball inside. You see, he just hits it right outside the tackle. He's able to push Dietrich Moore into the end zone, and then the two-point conversion, he just cuts it up and not to be denied. Again, lowers his shoulders and gets inside. The numbers been progressively better for Ken Simonton. In first half, only 8 yards. Second half, a 4.6 average. 2 touchdowns, 55 yards. And give a lot of credit to that offensive line, too. They're doing a nice job up front for the Beavers.
And Ruben Drones, after those leg cramps, back in the game, blocking for Harrington. Harrington finds his target for a first down. Tony Hartley, who has 8 catches in this game. He's 9 shy of the all-time school record, but he has always had unbelievable numbers against these Beavers in his past. 4 touchdown catches for Tony Hartley against Oregon State.
This is where Joey Harrington has to be really effective. What Oregon has to do, they got to keep the chains going. Obviously, keep the ball out of the hands of Jonathan Smith and Ken Simonton, knowing how effective they are in the fourth quarter scoring with the football.
Oregon State showing blitz. They give it to Drones. Ruben is sacked. And it was Aaron Wells. There's a flag down in the play, but Wells, we smelled that out beautifully.
35 by Aaron Wells.
He had a little Thousand Island dressing. He could have had himself a Reuben sandwich.
Indicated against the Beavers.
He was so quick to that play.
A 5-yard outside penalty puts the ball at the Oregon 41.
Well, Jeff Tedford, the offensive coordinator for Oregon, told us the weather's bad. Reuben could run 40 times. He's getting up there as Ruben Drones in this game now with 28 carries.
Yeah, Jeff Tedford, what he has to do now, continually mix run and pass, but when you got a 1st and 5, hey, you're more apt to throw the ball.
They go to Ruben Drones again on 1st down and 5, and they gain about 2-3 yards. Now with 29 carries in this game.
Jonathan Jackson, middle linebacker for Oregon State. He knew that 22 was going to get the ball. He sniffed it out. I'll tell you right now, nice time for play action. If you're Oregon, you've shown drones quite a bit. They haven't taken a lot of shots deep tonight either. Keenan Howery, number 15, might be able to use his speed in a one-on-one fashion against Dennis Weathersby.
They run Drones. Boy, James Allen was all over it, stretching it out, making sure Drones could not get to that sideline. Football news is weeknights at 6 on Fox Sports Net. Get all the football news you can handle with the NFL, college, and high school in your area.
Just call that pigskin news. Anything you need to know, dial it in. I'll tell you what I like about Oregon State's defense right now. They know Drones is going to get the ball. They stepped up, and they're making some plays now.
Big 3rd and 3 with 7:42 remaining. They try and run the outs, and Harrington dives forward, then fumbles. They say Harrington was down, and they say he was down very close to a 1st down.
Steve, I think the spot may be short of the 1st down. They're going to definitely measure it again. Oregon tries to run the option, but the defensive line, actually, it's again the middle linebacker Jonathan Jackson. Sure enough, his knee was down before the ball popped out. That's a good call by Chuck McFerrin. Joey Harrington, his knee was down on the ground when the ball came out. The spot's not going to be long enough. It's going to be 4th down, just a matter of inches. to see Jonathan Jackson, 39, shoot through, and then all of a sudden, Talataina there to jar the ball loose, but not after Harrington had his knee on the ground.
Dennis Erickson has his chance. Oregon has sent on their punting unit. They have to be efficient. Now Oregon calls timeout. Boy, that's interesting. That'll be the first timeout used by either ball club in the second half. 7.5 to play. Ducks lead by 8.
There you go. Okay, let's watch a video. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay. Good. All right, stay. What about some books? Books are good. There's some books. That time. Okay, that's for you and for you. Okay, get comfy.
This moment made possible by a husband who knows his diamonds.
Clearview, Washington is Ford country.
When I was assigned to the Clearview Fire Department, I didn't know I was going to work in Ford country. I mean, over 20 guys drive Ford trucks here. And when they found out I didn't drive one, well, they sent me some subtle messages. Hey, man, nice truck. Oh, thanks. So I got myself a new F-150 with the Triton V8, and with the 3.9 financing, I saved over $2,300 in interest.
Ford country.
Things are a lot better now.
Ford trucks outselling Dodge and Chevy combined in Clearview and all over the Northwest.
Presenting the new Italian Originals Pizza Trio from Domino's.
Tender prosciutto,
Italiana sausage,
tender prosciutto,
spicy pepperoni.
New Pizza Trio, $10.99, $10.99, $10.99.
New Domino's Italian Originals Pizza Trio. Prosciutto ham, Italian sausage, and spicy pepperoni. So much amore delivered hot for only $10.99.
Oregon with the lead and facing a 4th and 1. Let's go to James Lofton.
Guys, Reuben Drones came off the field, and he was adamant about the fact that he thought he could pick up the first down. You know, I don't know if he's done any acting lessons while he's been here at Oregon, but he convinced Mike Bellotti to go for it.
Wow.
Thank you, gentlemen, for going the extra mile.
That they'll go for it?
Well, it does surprise me, even though Reuben Drones hit the 1,000-yard mark tonight, 167 rushing yards, pushed him over that barrier, but I am awfully surprised only because if you don't make it, Oregon State has a short field, and well, I tell you, maybe just try and draw him off sides. No,
I don't know. The mark is going to be huge by the officials. They didn't give it to Reuben Drones, even though he was doing most of the arguing on the sideline.
You know, if I have Curtis Dorr in my back pocket, the great punter for the Oregon Ducks, I think I elected drill it deep. They're going to check. McFerrin's going to wait for a first down, but interesting game management call by Bellotti. Credit that one, I guess, to Reuben Drones.
And he didn't even get the football. He just shoved Harrington in the backside.
Joey Harrington, 6'4" frame. Boy, and he's barely made it. He did get a little push from behind by Drones. Awfully close. Gambling offensive style of the Oregon Ducks.
So now from the 46-yard line, they'll have that field, that clock, with an 8-point lead. Drones hammers his way for another Duck first down. There is a flag down, and it may go against the defense because there was a late hit against Oregon State on that man, Reuben Drones. 11 yards in the carry.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First out.
Boy, you talk about a momentum shift right there. Oregon State had the Ducks right where they wanted him, really, a 4th down, but then the Ducks elected to go for it on 4th, and then they spring Drones free for a big first down gain and another costly penalty. by that Beaver defense, and Oregon's able to pick up another 10 from the spot of the foul.
14 penalties against Oregon State. 137 yards it has cost them. Now from the 27-yard line, Oregon can really put a dagger into the Beaver heart. Drones against Jonathan Jackson. That is a meeting that will bring some noise. 6.5 minutes remaining in this game. Oregon with an 8-point lead. Mike Bellotti loves his guy, particularly late in the ball game, Reuben Drones.
Reuben will be a workhorse. I can tell this week in practice. I don't think I've ever seen him so animated, so focused, so excited about a game. And maybe it's because it's his last game in Autzen Stadium. Maybe because he didn't get to play against the Beavers last year. Had to watch that game from the sideline, which had to be very frustrating. But he's one of those guys that, in the fourth quarter, just says, "Feed me," and he wants the football.
And they feed him again. And he eats it up for another 3 yards. So he has 34 carries in this game and very close to 190 yards rushing.
That's right. Gary Campbell, the running backs coach for Oregon, knows with Drones in the game, and especially on that home turf, 7-0 at Autzen Stadium, 48 points, over 500 yards of offense. And Drones with 138 already. He does say, "Feed me." It's just, and he keeps producing. I think when you're asking for the ball not producing, that's one thing. When you're asking for it and knocking the defense back, that's a whole nother story.
Such a great competitor. Now on 3rd and 3. They'll go right back to Reuben. Cuts upfield, bangs one tackler away, and then leans forward very close to a first down as he needed to get to the 17-yard line for a 1st and 10.
I believe they're going to be a little short this time as well, but Mike Bellotti this time electing to have Nathan Villegas come out. He had 3 first-quarter field goals and able to line up now on a 4th and 1 for the Ducks.
And this one will come from about 35 yards out, well within Villegas' range. There is a crosswind blowing right to left, but he's on the right hash mark, so it could help him. And it is long enough, and it is good, and there's a flag down after the play. Four minutes, 17 seconds left in this college football game. The 103rd meeting of the Civil War between Oregon and Oregon State.
Chuck McFerrin conferring with his team of referees, roughing the kicker on Oregon State. Nathan Villegas, he's already playing with a torn ACL. Boy, and you see Walker coming off the edge. He really got blocked into him.
And look at Joey Harrington trying to see how fast he can get to Nathan. Are you all right? Because remember,
personal
it was Joey.
Foul. Roughing the kicker on the defense. First down.
Joey kind of jumped into his arms when he made a field goal that tied a game against USC to send it to overtime, and Oregon would win that game. But it's the last kick we saw from Villegas for quite some time, but he's made 4 of 5 in this game, and now they'll take away the points. They're not taking the points. Oregon wants to pound it into the end zone.
No, not really do you take points off the board, but in this instance you have to. Getting that much closer to pay dirt, and you still have an easy chip shot for Villegas, but they need to stick this in the end zone.
Yeah, but an 11-point lead with 4:17 to go is a lot. Short gain to about the 8-yard line by Reuben Drones. That was his 36th carry. He now has 192 yards rushing. Averaging 34 carries, 150 yards last 4 games. He has had quite the appetite recently.
And we were pretty right on. We speculated he might get 40 carries, closing in on that number. Probably about 20 more than Dennis Erickson wished he had.
Well, the Ducks did not have him last year. Mike Bellatti's team lost 44-41 in double overtime to the Beavers in Corvallis. Now Harrington second and goal. Drones to about the 5, maybe leans forward to the 4. A tackle there by Sean Ball, defensive tackle. Ruben hands the football to Jonathan Jackson, middle linebacker for the Beavers. 3rd down and goal.
Steve, so true. A year ago, when the Ducks just netted 31 rush yards against that Oregon State defense. I remember Keely Smith threw for over 430 yards, but last year it was Ken Simonton rushing the ball for 157 and 4 scores. But so far tonight, Ruben Drones the more effective of the 2 runners.
Back to Drone. Tries to get outside. He's down to the 3-yard line. Darnell Robinson on the tackle. So they will likely go for the field goal here. But now they've got to get those 3 points back. They did take another, 2.5 minutes off the clock, or a minute and a half off the clock.
Timeout, Oregon State. They're first of the half.
Interesting that they would take the time out here as Villegas gets ready to try and give Oregon the 11-point lead.
The executives are at the gate. Around the first turn. That's Bill Williams leading Miss Kelly Mack on the outside. And Jane Carlson. As they pass the car rental counters, Kelly Mack has to stop to fill out paperwork. Now it's Jane Carlson and Bill Williams neck and neck. Bill has to leave the airport to get his car, but Jane's car is right there at Hertz number 1 Club Gold. The trunk is open. The keys are in it. It's Jane Carlson and Hertz number 1 Club Gold. Exactly.
Stay tuned to receive your free trial version of America's #1 accounting software for small business.
Okay, folks, here's your business cards, letterhead, and my invoice.
How did you create this invoice?
With QuickBooks accounting software, I called the toll-free number and got a free trial version.
Wish I had time to learn new software.
It takes no time. Answer a few simple questions and QuickBooks tailors itself to your business automatically. And if you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. QuickBooks makes it easy to see who owes you money and how much you owe. It also does invoicing, payroll, and inventory. Plus, you get customizable reports and graphs that puts you in control of your business.
To try QuickBooks free, call 1-800-650-7481 for your free trial version. Or, if you also need time tracking, estimating, and project costing, then try QuickBooks Pro. Either trial is yours free for calling 1-800-650-7481.
A full hour of pregame power. NFL This Morning, Sunday on Fox Sports Net.
2:35 remaining in this football game. Oregon leads by 8. James Lofton.
Guys, Mike Bellotti has a master's degree in coaching 101, and what he did at 7:30 with remaining on the clock, he went for it on 4th down, taking points off the scoreboard. Now, if you're really going to get that PhD degree, you take a delay a game here, you give your field goal kicker a better angle to kick this field goal with.
Wow.
James Lofton, offense 101. It's not a bad decision, although I think Villegas doesn't have a problem kicking off this right hash. Some kickers favor one hash over the other. I think Villegas is pretty comfortable either one.
Just slams it through. So the lead is 11, and Oregon State only has 2:32 to not only score, but get the ball back and score again. Oregon has it all their way.
In my car, my dog is no longer fat and slow. He is a god. A fast, beautiful, drooling god.
Bosch Platinum Plus 4.
4 electrodes. Pure platinum. Take your engine to a higher power. Bosch Platinum Plus 4.
Oh, Dr. Owen's office called. They're sending you a fax.
Just because someone's ready to send you a fax doesn't mean you're ready to receive it.
Oh.
With fax notification from SkyTel, the fax will be stored so you control when and where you receive it right from your pager. Can your pager do that?
Oregon with an 11-point lead with 2.5 minutes left in this game. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the University of Oregon and the Pac-10 Conference and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience and may not be rebroadcast in any form without the express written consent of the University of Oregon and the Pac-10 Conference. We just saw the man, Reuben Drones, closing in on 200 yards rushing in this game. Here comes Robert Prescott out near the 30-yard line, but special teams so many times can decide games, and they have been critical in this contest.
Well, this play early on, Mike Fessler unable to hang on to that one, and the slippery ball. Michael Fletcher unable to hang on to that one. Oregon State had it down deep, was able to score, and then Roddy Tompkins couldn't handle the point after touchdown on Oregon State's first score. They did come back and get a 2-point conversion on their second score to get 14 on the board, but with that last field goal by Villegas, they now need 2 scores to get back in the game for a victory. They need to get down and score in a hurry here.
Oregon with their prevent defense in. Smith throws underneath and finds his man Sean Kintner for a first down to the 42-yard line. And Dietrich Moore on the coverage, but they don't have much time. 2:12 to play.
A complete clock offense. You need to call plays at the line of scrimmage, and surprisingly, the crowd is not too loud right now. Otherwise, it would make it awfully difficult. And Oregon State, of course, with 5 wides lined up in the shotgun offense.
Smith escapes. He will run and slide to the 50-yard line, and then no flag. Jonathan wanted a flag. The linesman came up to talk to Peter Sermon.
Jonathan Smith did everything in his power to coerce the line judge to throw the flag. Line judge would have none of it. Sermon over there to put a knock on him as he slid. I think Oregon State not utilizing the clock to their advantage.
Well, he had Amani Percoach with the edge on Fletcher, but he threw it on a line rather than allowing Percoach to run underneath. It'll be 3rd and 2. Stay with us, because after the game on Fox Sports News, we'll tell you all about Stanford going to the Rose Bowl. First time since 1972. And UCLA and USC, how'd that come out? USC going for the first win in 8 years. Florida State, #1 versus #1, #3 Florida. All the highlights and next on Fox Sports News. Smith, nope, it'll be 4th down. 4th down and 3. He must go for it with 1:23 and counting. And there is a player down in the field, Aaron Cook, the senior right guard. So stop the clock with 1:21. And that is the 5th sack by Oregon in this game. Last week, they did it with interceptions. Oregon with 6 interceptions. The most since they've had since the 1940s against any ball club. 6 interceptions against California.
And that's Saul Patu really stepping up tonight, as well as that entire defensive line of the Oregon Ducks.
Going in a straight line is one issue, and most people, when they think of speed and power plants, think of the fact is you're going fast and slow, and you're turning in the process of doing it. The new Ultima has been redesigned with that in mind. We refined the suspension. We reduced the body roll. We goosed the engine. Technically speaking, we gave the car some...
What do you do while your battery is charging?
Well, now, you could just keep working. Because Skill just created the dual source power system. The first cordless tools with a corded backup. So you can finish what you start. Which is a much more satisfying use of time. Dual source. Only from Skill.
The biggest crowd ever to watch a Civil War game. More than 46,000 on hand. Oregon leading by 11. The Beavers facing a 4th down and 3 situation at their own 47.5-yard line. Smith dumps it off and has his man, Sean Kintner, for the first down at the 45-yard line.
Boy, I tell you what, a great little scramble by Jonathan Smith, able to get the ball finally up the field. Have the play called, moving the change, stop the clock.
And they find their man Kintner at the 41, so a gain of 3. If Oregon wins this game, the Ducks will go to the Holiday or the Sun Bowl. Holiday Bowl chooses between Oregon and Washington, despite the fact that Washington beat the Ducks. The Beavers go to the Aloha or the Oahu Bowl. That is only if Oregon wins.
That's right, and the Pac-10, of course, sending 5 teams to bowls this year. The Rose, the Holiday, the Sun. And then the doubleheader on Christmas Day, the Aloha and the Oahu Bowls.
Smith with time. He had Kintner wide open at the 25-yard line, had it right in the numbers, but Sean couldn't hold on.
Boy, Jonathan Smith kind of sidearmed that one to Kintner. Kintner, the redshirt freshman, unable to hold on to it. Smith still improving on those numbers. No interceptions, yet no TDs.
And he came into this game efficient. Not brilliant at throwing touchdown passes, but 15-7 touchdowns over INTs. 3rd and 6 now. 1 minute to play, down by 11. Oregon rushes 3. Incomplete. This time he was looking for TJ Hushmanzada. So it is 4th down and 7. This for the game.
I think you'd want to, you know, even though it's going to keep the clock running, although if you get the first down, it'll stop the clock, I think you have to run some crossing routes in the middle of the field. We've been trying to get the short dinks outside, and got to create something across the middle of the field to free someone up.
It's knocked down, and Oregon is going to win this game. Jason Nicolau at 6'2", Jonathan Smith at 5'10", and Jonathan could not get that pass over him. So Mike Bellotti still unbeaten at home in his career at Autzen Stadium.
Watch Nicolau there. He puts a good rush, pushes the pocket, and then they just able to get his hand up. Nicolau batting the ball down, and that was done with a 3-man rush. Credit the defensive line of Oregon for really turning up the juice tonight.
Only 1 timeout left, and really not much that Oregon State can do to stop this football game. And so many guys playing their last game at Autzen Stadium, including our player of the game. Well, there's Justin Wilcox, who on the defensive side did a remarkable job, and the great Oregon wide receivers. But Reuben Drones, the senior, who never lost a game at home running the football when he was healthy. 197 yards rushing on 38 carries.
So what you'll hear more of Reuben Drones as he plays at that next level, because he's a guy that's got great presence rushing the football and such great balance.
He just dumped the ice on his coach Mike Bellotti, and Mike was the guy who told us he has never seen Reuben so focused, so emotional. There are the 2 leaders, Drones, Michael Fletcher. Here's Reuben. Nice to use ice. And Mike just lets it fall. Well, we've had the Sock Bowl, the Fog Bowl in this series pass. They're counting it down. And the 103rd Civil War belongs to the Oregon Ducks. And Reuben Drones, what a game. 38 carries, 197 yards, and a 26-yard touchdown run as the Ducks beat the Beavers 25-14.